by the Edge Apartment Homes. The Wolfpack will send this lineup out to the plate against left-hander freshman Ian Seymour, the freshman from Westboro, Massachusetts, coming off a strong 7-inning performance at Boston College last weekend, 2-1 with a 3.79 earned run average, and he'll be facing this starting 9 for NC State. Josh McClain is in center field. He'll be leading off. Brett Kinnaman's the left fielder, batting second. Will Wilson at shortstop. He's batting third. Evan Edwards, the first baseman, is in the cleanup spot. Patrick Bailey, the freshman catcher, is batting fifth. Stephen Oakley is the designated hitter for the Wolfpack today. He's hitting sixth. Brock Deathridge, the right fielder, bats seventh. Dylan Cooper, the third baseman, is batting eighth. And JT Jarrett, the freshman second baseman, is batting ninth for NC State. Behind Ian Seymour defensively, Tom Stoffel is in left field. Nick Menken is in center. Cam Irvin is in right field. Sam Fragel at third base. Nick Owens is the shortstop. Jack Owens at second base. J.D. Mundy is at first. Luke Horansky is behind the plate. And Ian Seymour on the mound for Virginia Tech, as they're going with the all-white uniform ensemble today. White jersey tops with white pants. They have the maroon caps with the orange bill and the white VT logo on the front of the crown outlined in orange. Josh McClain stepping into the box, wearing the all-gray uniforms for NC State today. Ian Seymour into the windup, and the first pitch is high and outside with a fastball. And our first pitch comes exactly at 1 o'clock, and it's brought to you by First Bank and Trust. Glad he could join us here on this beautiful day in Blacksburg, last day of March, and the 1-0 pitch misses down and in. 2 balls and no strikes to Josh McClain, who is batting .336 on the season, 2 homers, and has 21 RBIs. Seymour working from the third base side of the rubber, the 2-0 pitch, a swing and a miss. And that makes it a 2-1 count now to Josh McClain. Senior out of Hidden Knight, North Carolina, 6 feet tall, 165 pounds. The 2-1 is popped up foul, bounces off the facing of the suite level here at the still being renovated English Field at Union Park. Have a lot of construction equipment going down the right field line between the NC State dugout and into the corner. And now the 2-2 to McClain is low and outside. Count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Wolfpack coming into today's game with a 22-5 record for the season. They are 8-3 in the ACC. They have won 6 straight ACC series. That is the longest active streak in the conference. 3-2 pitch. Hard ground ball up the middle. That's going to get into left center field for a base hit. And Josh McClain, who had a nice day yesterday, going 3 for 6 with a pair of runs scored and 4 RBIs, gets things started for the Wolfpack with a leadoff single here in the first inning. That'll bring up Brett Kinnaman. Kinnaman, the ACC leader in home runs for the season. He has 12, along with 36 RBIs, batting .345 for the season. Left-handed batter with an open stance, and the first pitch from Seymour is nubbed. Back to Seymour. He has it 1-6-3 on the double play, and a quick twin killing as Ian Seymour gets the pitch he wants. Ends up jamming Kinnaman inside with a fastball, and he hits the comebacker, leading to the routine double play. And now 2 outs and nobody on base with Will Wilson stepping up. It was Wilson who started the scoring for the Wolfpack yesterday, launching a 3-run homer out to left center field over the 375 side. Part of that 14-2 Wolfpack victory yesterday. First pitch from Seymour is over on the inside part of the plate with a slider. No balls and 1 strike. Jeremy Dupree is the home plate umpire for today's ball game. Darian Padgett at first base. The 0-1 is down low with a fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Danny Everett, the second base umpire. And Darren Spagnardi, who worked the plate yesterday, is at third base. 4-man ACC umpiring crew. Ian Seymour looking over the top of his black mitt into the windup. The 1-1 pitch got him out in front on a changeup, swing and a miss. And the count now at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wilson overall this season batting .324, has 7 homers and 24 RBIs, including that long ball yesterday. 1-2 pitch popped up foul, first base side out of play. And the count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Virginia Tech checking into today's game with an 11-14 overall record. They are 5-6 in the ACC. Trying to get back to 500. The 1-2 is a little up high. Came in with a changeup on the outside corner. It got the corner, but it ended up missing a little bit upstairs. Came in around the letters of Wilson's gray jersey with red letters and numbers and a white outline. And now the count even at 2-2. Seymour delivers. Fastball popped up, fisted foul off the right side out of play. Still a 2-2 count to Will Wilson. Those gray jerseys for NC State say NC State across the front, button-down jerseys. They have gray pants with a red and white stripe going down each side. Another 2-2. Called strike three on the inside corner. Will Wilson goes down looking, and after a 3-run first inning for NC State yesterday and a 2-run first on Thursday against Connor Coward, State goes scoreless in the top half of the first for the first time in this series. 3 up and 3 down, although the Wolfpack do get a single. That was erased by the double play. Half inning in the books here in Blacksburg. NC State nothing. Virginia Tech coming up. This is Virginia Tech baseball from IMG.
Be sure to stay tuned to HokieSports.com and follow us on Twitter at Hokies Baseball.
Welcome back to English Field at Union Park as we move to the home half of the first inning. Ian Seymour, after giving up a leadoff single, remained undaunted, able to induce a double play grounder from Brett Kinnaman, the ACC's leading home run hitter, and then gets Will Wilson looking on a called strike three to end the inning, and NC State goes scoreless in the top half of the first. Now it's the Hokies' turn, going against senior left-hander Brian Brown, who is 4-0 with a .48 earned run average. He is a native of Glenmore, Pennsylvania, outside of Philadelphia. Tagged for a season-high 5 runs over 6 1/3 innings against Georgia Tech last Sunday. All of those runs, however, were unearned, and he ended up getting the win in that 9-6 triumph for the Wolfpack. Brown, the left-hander, will be going up against this Hokies lineup. Jack Owens is leading off. He is the second baseman. Tom Stoffel, who broke up Johnny Piedmont's no-hit bid in the 7th inning in yesterday's ball game, he's in left field batting second. Luke Horansky riding an 11-game winning streak, or hitting streak rather. He is the catcher batting third. Cam Irvin, the right fielder, is hitting fourth. J.D. Mundy is the first baseman batting fifth. Sam Fragale, the third baseman, hit sixth. Nick Menken, who made a tremendous defensive play crashing into the center field fence in yesterday's ball game, he is good to go, back in the lineup batting seventh and in center field. Joe Friday Jr. is the DH batting eighth, and Nick Owens, the shortstop, will hit ninth for Virginia Tech. Brian Brown on the mound, working from the third base side of the rubber, going up against Jack Owens, the right-handed batter. And the first pitch here in this home half of the first inning is inside out, swung and fouled down the first base side. Michael Thomas, the first base coach for Virginia Tech, will chase that ball down in front of the ACC baseball logo that's adorning the 3-foot-high fence going down the side of the field. The 0-1 pitch, hard line drive up the middle and into center field for a base hit. Good start for Jack Owens, as he was able to take that pitch that was elevated in the zone and drilled it up the middle for a hit. Owens went 1 for 4 in yesterday's ball game with an 8th inning single, and he gets the Hokies started early here with a leadoff hit. Virginia Tech had to wait until the 7th inning yesterday before they got their first knock of the ball game. And now Tom Stoffel will bat. It was Stoffel who ended Johnny Piedmont's no-hit bid after 6 full innings. Led off the 7th inning with a single. Ended up going 2 for 4 in yesterday's ball game. Had an RBI and a run scored. Throw over to first, and Owens is back in safely. Stoffel on the season batting .324, has 2 homers and 16 RBIs. Head coach John Sheff saying that Stoffel being one of the more experienced guys on this Hokies roster, need that kind of production out of him. Lefty-lefty matchup. Brown's first pitch is a fastball over on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Staffel's a redshirt senior out of Dayton, Ohio. 5'10", 205 pounds. He adjusts his white batting gloves before stepping back into the box. Crowds that plate with his left foot right on the corner of that rectangular batter's box. Squares the bunt, pulls it back, takes a pitch outside. The ball squirted out of the glove of Patrick Bailey, but no further advancement from Jack Owens, as the ball ended up staying right in front of Bailey, and the count is now 1-1. Defensively for NC State, Brett Kinnaman is in left field. Josh McClain in center. Brock Deathridge is in right field. Third baseman is Dylan Cooper. Will Wilson, the shortstop. JT Jarrett at second base. Evan Edwards is at first. Patrick Bailey, the catcher, with Brian Brown on the mound. Another throw over to first. Delayed reaction from Owens, but he's able to dive back in safely. Diving on that fake dirt here at English Field. The entire ball field, with the exception of the pitcher's mound, is artificial turf. It's just colored differently for the infield grass, the infield dirt, and the outfield grass. Another throw over to first. Owens once again able to dive back in, getting that right hand into the pillow ahead of Evan Edwards' tag attempt. The pitcher's mound is regular dirt. Part of that growing trend in college baseball. At Boston College last weekend, even the mound was artificial turf. Now the 1-1. Stoffel squares. Ball ends up popping off the glove of Patrick Bailey. Squirts behind him, and that's going to allow Owens to move down to second base. We'll await the official scoring on that one. Whether or not it's a wild pitch or a pass ball, they're going to give Bailey a pass ball. So the Hokies have runner at second base with no outs here in the home half of the first inning of this scoreless ball game. Stoffel ahead in the count, 2-1. Brown has the sign and comes set chest level. Looks back at second. Now the 2-1 is in the dirt, scooped up by Bailey. And now Stoffel well ahead in the count, 3 balls and a strike. Brian Brown, not the hardest thrower in the world. Nibbles around 90 miles an hour, works the corners, and as you may have heard John Sheff in the pregame show saying, you can't try and do too much against them. Just try and operate up the middle. Jack Owens did so with his leadoff single. Now the 3-1 is over at the knees. Stoffel thought it was ball 4. He was about to toss that black aluminum bat back to the third base dugout and trot down to first base. Instead, it's now going to be a full count against the Hokies left fielder. Brown looking in for his sign. The baseball behind his back. Now he has what he likes and comes set. 3-2 pitch. Stoffel pops it up foul off the third base side. That ball is going to clear the grandstand and make it all the way up onto the hillside here at English Field, where you have a number of fans outside the fence still peeking in at the ball game. You have a few hundred here in attendance, many in the brand new dark green plastic chairback seats. Another 3-2 will wait one moment as Brown turns towards second. Jack Owens scampers back to the bag. You also have dozens of fans gathered up on the amphitheater-style hillside seating on the third base side. Hokie Stone serving as benches going all the way down the line. Now another 3-2 pitch. Stoffel foul tips it at the plate. Just barely got a piece with the very bottom of his aluminum bat getting the top of the baseball. And he stays alive at 3-2. Stoffel, a 2018 Collegiate Baseball preseason third-team All-American. He was an All-ACC second-team performer last year. Left-handed batter waits. The lefty delivers the 3-2 pitch, and Stoffel once again pops it up foul. This one heading back toward that amphitheater seating. Fan tried to make a running catch going onto the walkway. The ball tipped off of his hand. Now he'll pick it up and toss it back to his friend sitting nearby. Another 3-2 pitch coming to Tom Stoffel. And here's the payoff. Swing and a miss. Scott Stoffel with a fastball low and outside. Good late movement on it. Might have been a cutter. And that's the first out of the inning as Stoffel finally goes down after putting up a battle in that at bat. Luke Horansky now the batter for the Hokies. The Tech catcher riding an 11-game hitting streak. Batting .346 for the season. Has 3 homers and 15 RBIs. Left-handed batter facing the lefty Brian Brown. Runner at second base, 1 out, bottom of the first inning, no score. Brown takes 2 looks back at second, now delivers the first pitch. It's coming up and in to Horansky as he ducks out of the way, and the count's 1-0. An absolutely gorgeous day in Blacksburg this afternoon. 55 degrees at first pitch. Barely a cloud in the sky, just a few wispy ones overhead over on the third base side. Lots of blue skies overhead. What a way to close out March. Horansky hits the 1-0 breaking ball down to first base, gobbled up by Evan Edwards. He'll take it to the bag himself. Moving over to third is Jack Owens, and that's the second out of the inning. A productive out for Horansky, but not the one he wanted. And now Cam Irvin will step up. Freshman right fielder out of Penn Laird, Virginia. 6'2", 185 pounds. Batting .246 on the year. No homers, and he has 8 runs driven in. Irvin, right-handed batter, and the first pitch is a fastball inside, ball 1. Irvin was a 4-year varsity letter winner at Spotswood High School in Penn Laird. Oldest of 2 children, has a younger sister, Casey, and the 1-0 pitch is on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jack Owens with good speed on at third base. 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Virginia Tech trying to strike first here against the 10th-ranked Wolfpack. Brown looking in for his sign. Now the 1-1. Drilled out toward the left center field gap. Long run for Josh McLean, but he's able to run it down and make the grab on the run to his backhand side, running out to his right. Got a good read on that ball, and he was able to glove it for the final out of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and Tech leaves a runner at third base. We've played an inning here in Blacksburg. NC State nothing, Virginia Tech nothing. This is Virginia Tech baseball from IMG.
Correct song, title, and artist will win a Virginia Tech prize pack. All right, fans, here's the song. The first person to identify this song, title, and artist will win.
Welcome back to English Field at Union Park as we move to the second inning here in Blacksburg. NC State and Virginia Tech scoreless. Dave Pulaski with you, filling in for Andrew Allegretta. He's out in Bloomington, Indiana, where the Hokies women's basketball team will be playing in the WNIT Championship against the Indiana Hoosiers. That's going to be a 3 o'clock tip-off from Assembly Hall, and we will keep you updated on the progress of that game as we continue to move through our broadcast. Here we go to the top of the second inning. Both lefties surrendered a first inning single, Ian Seymour and Brian Brown, but both were able to get out of it undamaged. And now it's the heart of the order for the 10th-ranked Wolfpack. Evan Edwards, Patrick Bailey, and Stephen Oakley going up against the freshman from Westboro, Massachusetts. About 30 miles outside of Boston. As Seymour delivers the first pitch to Edwards, it's a fastball down low for ball 1. Edwards batting .321 on the year, 8 home runs, 20 RBIs. Junior college transfer, and the 1-0 is a little bit low. Count runs to 2 balls and no strikes. Edwards, a native of Greensboro, North Carolina, played his first 2 years of college ball at USC Lancaster down in South Carolina. The 2-0. Edwards hits a hard ground ball up the first base side foul, and the count runs to 2-1. Lancaster, South Carolina, about midway between Charlotte and Columbia. As Seymour looks over the top of his glove, goes into the windup, and the lefty delivers a 2-1 pitch. Edwards skies it out toward left field, shallow, coming in Stoffel, has a beat on it, runs up, makes the catch next to his right shoulder, and that's out number 1 here in the second inning.
Batting fifth, catcher number 5, Patrick Bailey.
Seymour doing a nice job of spotting his ball in and out, being able to work it across the plate. Has jammed a couple of left-handed batters so far today, and now a right-hander, at least a switch hitter batting from the right side. Patrick Bailey takes the first pitch up high for a ball. Bailey, a freshman catcher from Greensboro, 6'2", 192 pounds, and the 1-0 hits it right back up the middle. Jack Owens shading him that way, about 10 feet to the left of second base, scoops it up, throws to first, an easy play for Owens, and a good scouting report there from the Hokies as they were able to figure out where Bailey likes to hit the ball on the ground. Ian Seymour actually had to skip out of the way of that ball, and it was a good thing he didn't try and get a glove on it because Owens was positioned perfectly. 2 outs, nobody on base, and Stephen Oakley now the batter. And the first pitch is a changeup. Oakley checks his swing. The first base umpire, Darian Padgett, says he was able to hold up in time. The count's now 1-0. Oakley batting just .200 this season, 1 for 5 in spot duty. The 1-0 misses down low, 2 balls and no strikes. Playing in his 7th game, making his first start of the season. Native of Durham, North Carolina, and the 2-0 pitch misses low and inside. 3 balls and no strikes. A couple of woos coming out from the Virginia Tech fans who thought that ball caught the inside corner. Oakley well ahead in the count, the designated hitter for NC State. 3-0 pitch taking all the way. And he watches a fastball cut through the heart of the plate. 3 balls and a strike. 2 outs, nobody on base, top of the second inning. No score between NC State and Virginia Tech. Now the 3-1. And Oakley hits a rip up the middle. That ball's going to land into center field for a base hit. Oakley makes a wide turn at first. He'll stop there as Mankin hustles it back in. And the Wolfpack have a 2-out base runner as Oakley gets his 2nd hit of the season. And that'll bring up Brock Deathridge. .316 batter for the year, 5 homers, 16 RBIs. He clubbed a solo homer over the back fence of the bullpen in right field that houses NC State in yesterday's ballgame. Throw over to first, and Oakley is back in standing up. Deathridge, a 6'1", 186-pound senior out of Burlington, North Carolina, left-handed batter. Stands nearly upright at the plate and has a slightly open stance. First pitch is a fastball up high. Came in around the letters, 1 ball and no strikes. Deathridge enjoying a bounce-back season for NC State, at least with the bat. The 1-0 takes a breaking ball low and outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Deathridge last year hit only .218 and had 3 home runs, along with 18 RBIs. Seymour comes set at the belt. 2-0 pitch is a fastball. That one is on the outside corner. Came in close to the letters. Deathridge thought it was high, but it ended up catching part of the plate. And the count now at 2 balls and a strike. Deathridge, after his junior season, drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates in the 29th round, decided to come back for his senior year, and that's paying dividends for both he and the Wolfpack. 2-1 pitch on the outside corner. Perfect spot by Seymour. And the count now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Not only is Dethridge ahead of last year's home run total already, and we're not even into April, he is raising his draft stock considerably heading through the rest of the year. 2-2 pitch, outside corner, called strike 3. Ian Seymour attacking that outside edge with the fastball, and Brock Dethridge frozen in his place. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a runner left. We played an inning and a half here in Blacksburg. NC State nothing, Virginia Tech nothing. This is Virginia Tech baseball from IMG.
All right, fans, it's now time for our first Easter trivia question of today's game. The idea of the Easter Bunny was originated in the 1700s in what country? Once again, the idea of the Easter Bunny was originated in the 1700s in what country? Was it A, Russia, B, the United States, C, Germany, or D, Great Britain? If you know what the answer is, head to the marketing table to claim your prize.
Welcome back to English Field at Union Park as we move to the home half of the second inning. Number 10 NC State and Virginia Tech scoreless. The Hokies trying to get their first ever win in a series against the Wolfpack. NC State leading the all-time series 44-22-2. They swept last year's season series in Raleigh. This is NC State's first trip to Blacksburg since 2014. And J.D. Mundy will lead things off for the Hokies against left-hander Brian Brown, who gave up a leadoff single in the bottom of the first inning to Jack Owens before getting out of the jam. Lefty-lefty matchup. Brown with the first pitch. It's a fastball painting the black on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Mundy, sophomore first baseman out of Roanoke. Now the 0-1. Takes a fastball up high around the shoulders. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mundy hitting .250 on the season, 4 homers. He has 11 RBIs. Slightly open stance in that left-handed box. The 1-1 pitch is foul tipped into the glove of Patrick Bailey, and the count is now 1-2. Mundy, with those 4 home runs, leads the ball club. The 1-2 is up high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hokies as a team have 16 total home runs. Brett Kinnaman, NC State's left fielder, has 12 by himself. Different styles between these two teams. The 2-2 pitch misses down low and runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. NC State has 44 home runs as a team this season. That is not only tops in the ACC, but it's 4th in the entire country. Brown into the windup, and the 3-2 pitch. And Mundy takes inside on a fastball. Lead-off walk drawn by Mundy to begin this bottom of the second inning.
Third baseman, number
That'll bring up Sam Fragale. Fragale, the senior third baseman. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania native. 5'10", 205 pounds. Batting .245 on the year with 2 homers and 17 RBIs. He leads the ball club in that runs driven in category. Right-handed batter facing the lefty Brian Brown, who comes set chest level. 3-step lead over at first, and Fragale lays down a beauty of a bunt up the first base line. Brown handles it, throws to first, nabs Fragale by a step. Sacrifice successful, going 1-3. And J.D. Mundy advances down to second base. Nice job by Fragale getting that sack down. And now Nick Menken will be the batter. That's Frigale's second sacrifice bunt this season. Hokies love doing that small ball. They've executed 19 sacrifice bunts this year. And now Nick Menken, the batter, junior center fielder, right-handed batter, and the first pitch from Brown is a changeup outside, ball one. Menken hitting .212 on the season, 2 homers, 13 RBIs, 2 for 7 against NC State this weekend. Takes a short practice swing just outside the right-handed batter's box. Now steps back in, waving that fluorescent yellow aluminum bat above his right shoulder. The 1-0 is a fastball on the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Menken from Bartlett, Illinois. His first year with the Hokies, spent the first part of his college career at Iowa Western Community College. 1-1 pitch, and Menken pops it up foul. That ball hits the facing of the suite level, banging off of the metal railing in front before caroming down into the crowd. A nice crowd here on this Saturday afternoon. Easter weekend, also Passover weekend. Many families getting together, seeing lots of kids and grown-ups in the stands, and that's always great to see here on this Saturday. Now the 1-2 to Menken. Soft liner towards second base, fielded on 1 hop by J.T. Jarrett, throws to first to retire Menken, and heading over to third base is J.D. Mundy. And for the second straight inning, the Hokies have a runner at third base with 2 outs in the inning. And now Joe Friday Jr. will step up, the designated hitter for Tech. Handled the catching duties yesterday, a .304 batter for the season, 2 homers, 13 RBIs. Playing in his 21st game, making his 14th start. Big right-handed batter. Facing the lefty, Brian Brown. The first pitch, a changeup, is chopped foul at the plate, bouncing off of the front side of Friday. The count's now 0-1. No score, bottom of the second inning. Tech threatening with a runner at third base and 2 outs. Joe Friday Jr. from Lakeville, Massachusetts. And now the 0-1 is a fastball low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Joe's 22 years old. Oldest of 2 children, a younger sister, Morgan. Has baseball bloodlines in the family. The 1-1 pitch. Friday swings and pops it up foul off the right side out of play. Count goes to 1-2. Joe's uncle, Michael Connolly, was drafted by the Cleveland Indians. His cousin, also named Michael Connolly, drafted by the San Francisco Giants. Friday, 6'4", 240 pounds. And now the 1-2. Takes a called strike 3 on the inside corner. Well spotted by Brian Brown, and the NC State Southpaw able to get out of the jam for a second straight inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a runner left at third base. We played 2 here in Blacksburg. Wolfpack and Hokies are scoreless. This is Virginia Tech baseball from IMG. Back in Blacksburg as we continue this series finale between Virginia Tech and 10th ranked NC State. Dave Pulaski with you. Scoreless ball game. Wolfpack checking in at a number 10 ranking in both D1 baseball as well as Baseball America. They're ranked as high as number 6 by collegiate baseball. Consistent top 10 rankings, and Virginia Tech trying to get a series win against a top 10 opponent. It'll be Dylan Cooper leading things off for the Wolfpack here in the top of the 3rd inning. Sophomore third baseman, right-handed batter against the lefty Ian Seymour, and the first pitch is on the inside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Cooper batting .301 for the season. No homers. He has 17 RBIs. The 0-1 pitch is over on the outside edge. Nice spot from Seymour. And the count runs to no balls and 2 strikes. Seymour doing what he did last weekend against Boston College, getting ahead in the count. Now the 0-2. Fastball wasted up high. And the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Seymour working from the third base side of the rubber. Tech defense is shading Cooper to pull, and he swings and misses on the 1-2 pitch. A fastball down in the zone, late cut to it. And he goes down on strikes. That's the 3rd strikeout already for Seymour. And there's one down here in the top of the 3rd inning with JT Jarrett stepping up for the Wolfpack. NC State ranking at or near the top of the ACC in numerous offensive categories. We mentioned their home run total for the year. The first pitch is a fastball up high to Jarrett, who's hitting .349 in limited action this year. No homers. He has 3 RBIs. Seymour into the windup, and the 1-0 is a fastball on the inside edge. Count runs to 1-1. Jarrett, 5'10", 155 pounds, from Greensboro. He attended Northern Guilford High School. One of several Wolfpack players who played for the Nighthawks of Northern Guilford, who won a state title 2 years ago. 1-1 pitch is a changeup, swinging out in front. And Jarrett now behind in the count, 1-2. Seymour looking over the top of his dark brown mitt. Shakes off his catcher, Luke Horansky, now delivers a 1-2. And Jarrett guides a line drive into center field for a base hit. That ball splits right across the middle of the VT logo that is painted into the artificial turf in center field. Mencken fields it on a couple of hops. And a 1-out single for NC State, their 3rd hit of the ballgame. That'll bring up Josh McLean in the top of the Wolfpack order here with 1 out and a runner at first. Seymour looking in for his sign, has what he likes, comes set at the belt. And the first pitch. Slide step delivery, change up in the dirt. Nice block by Luke Horansky, dropping down to his knees and knocking that ball down with his black and orange chest protector, and the count's 1-0. Seymour has a sign, infield at double play depth, and a throw over to first chases Jarrett back to the bag. Jarrett 0 for 1 on stolen base attempts this season. Josh McLean single to center field his first time up. 1 for 1 in this game. He is 4 for 11 in this series. The 1-0 pitch is nubbed off the end of the bat, foul behind home. And the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Just like yesterday, a few dozen NC State fans clad in red sitting over on the first base side of the diamond near their dugout. Seymour once again throws over to first, and Jarrett back standing up. Temperature moving up to 58 degrees here on this last day of March. Pretty much perfect baseball weather, especially for this time of year. 1-1 pitch is just off the inside corner. Count goes to 2-1. Field conditions are brought to you by Exmark. Exmark Professional Mowing Equipment is the best-selling brand of zero-turn mowers, trusted 2-1 by the top landscaping pros. Seymour has the sign and comes set. And now another throw over to first, and Jarrett taking a slim lead off of first base, able to take 2 steps back to the bag. Josh McLean, right-handed batter, ahead in the count 2 balls and a strike. The senior center fielder. As Seymour steps off of the rubber, adjusts his maroon and orange cap. Maroon crown, orange bill, the white VT logo on the front, outlined in orange. Now another throw over to first. Paying plenty of attention to J.T. Jarrett. Hokies in the white jerseys and white pants today. They have the maroon stirrup socks. The 2-1 pitch is just off the inside corner. 3 balls and a strike. Every member of the Hokies wearing those short pants with the high socks. Orange and white Northwestern stripes going across them. Another throw over to first, and once again scampering back is Jarrett. Hokies who aren't in the game leaning on the top rail of the dugout over on the third base side. Now the 3-1 pitch. McLean swings and hits a high fly ball out to right field. Cam Irvin camping under it, looking up into the high sky, had trouble with it, but he ends up making the one-handed catch above that maroon and orange cap. With those wispy clouds overhead and the bright blue skies, makes it a little tough to field those fly balls and get a true read of the depth perception. But Irvin able to stick with it and make the catch for the second out of the inning. And now Brett Kinnaman will step up with 2 outs and a runner at first. Kinnaman saw only 1 pitch in his first at bat. He got jammed and hit a comebacker to the pitcher that led to a 1-6-3 double play. The ACC's leading home run hitter. He has 12 on the year. He is second in the country individually in home runs. As Luke Kuransky trotted out to the mound for a quick word with his left-hander, now heads back behind the plate. Kinnaman, left-handed batter against the lefty Seymour, and they have Jarrett picked off. Throw to Mundy, then over to the shortstop, Nick Owens, covering second base, slaps the tag down on the left forearm of J.T. Jarrett, and he ends up being caught stealing to end the inning. Pickoff caught stealing, going 1-3-6, and that will do it for NC State in the top half of the third inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. After 2.5 here in Blacksburg, NC State nothing, Virginia Tech nothing. This is Virginia Tech baseball from IMG.
Receive a coupon for a free smoothie and tropical smoothie. Eat better, feel better.
Welcome back to English Field at Union Park on this beautiful Saturday afternoon in Blacksburg. Final day of March. Virginia Tech and number 10 NC State scoreless as we move to the home half of the third inning. Dave Pulaski with you as we fill in for Andrew Allegretto over the weekend. He is out in Bloomington, Indiana for the WNIT championship game. Hokies facing the Indiana Hoosiers at 3 o'clock today. We'll update you as that game gets started from Assembly Hall in about an hour and 15 minutes. 9-1-2 due up for Virginia Tech in the home half of the third against lefty Brian Brown. It's Nick Owens, then Jack Owens, and Tom Stoffel. Brown, the lefty, into his windup, and the first pitch is a fastball belt high on the inside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Owens batting .288 on the season. No homers. He has 5 runs driven in. Right-handed batter, slightly closed stance, and the 0-1 pitch is on the inside corner. This one comes in around thigh high. And the count quickly runs to 0-2 against Nick Owens. Owens from Marvin, North Carolina, 6 feet, 175 pounds. The 0-2 is a fastball wasted up high. Came in around the eyes of Owens. He's able to easily lay off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Owens, in his first year with Virginia Tech, played the last 2 seasons at St. John's River State College. And he takes a called strike 3 on the inside corner. First out in this bottom of the 3rd inning, and the 3rd strikeout for Brian Brown.
Number 2, Jack Owens.
I'll turn it over to the top of the order, and Jack Owens now stepping up. Jack is 1 for 1, a single up the middle his first time up, taking his head coach John Sheff's advice, saying you got to go up the middle against Brian Brown because he loves to work those corners and you can't try and yank the ball on him. First pitch. Owens squares to bunt, tries to push it up the first base side. Fielded by Evan Edwards, throws to the second baseman, J.T. Jarrett covering, and they're able to nab Owens by a step. Well executed defense there by the Wolfpack. As Evan Edwards saw that push bunt, immediately reacted and charged because he saw that Brian Brown wasn't going to be able to get it. It was too far up the line. J.T. Jarrett, a heads-up play over at second base, recognizing that Edwards was charging in. Raced over to first base and was able to cover and get to the bag in time for out number 2. Now Tom Stoffel, first pitch, fastball inside. Patrick Bailey framed it, wouldn't get the call from home plate umpire Jeremy Dupree, and the count's 1-0. Stoffel struck out swinging his first time up. Batting 3 for 9 against State in this series. The 1-0 pitch is a laser beam up the middle into center field for a base hit. Tom Stoffel continuing his good hitting trend after going 2 for 4 yesterday. Now 1 for 2 in this ball game, and Tech has a 2-out base runner here in the 3rd inning. Luke Horansky will be the batter. Horansky 0 for 1. He grounded out to first base in his initial plate appearance. 6'1", 225 pounds from Manitoba, Canada. A member of the Johnny Bench Award watch list for this season. He has done a fantastic job, not only with the bat, but also behind the plate. In fact, both of Tech's main catchers have done an excellent job defensively. First pitch is bounce foul into the NC State dugout on the first base side. Counts 0-1. Horansky and Joe Friday both doing a nice job of blocking balls down behind home, keeping base runners from advancing. Now the 0-1. And Horansky takes inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Luke is 21 years old. He'll turn 22 on April 19th. He's the middle of 3 children, all boys. Throw over to first, and Stoffel dives back in safely. Has an older brother, Aaron, a younger brother, Travis. Finance major here at Virginia Tech. And he taps his black and silver aluminum bat against home plate as he steps back into the left-handed box. Round set, the 1-1 pitch. Change up, hard line drive, diving stab by Evan Edwards at first base, just into fair territory. He made that glove stab just above the bag, and that's going to do it for the Hokies in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a runner left, and some good defense from NC State. We played 3 full here in Blacksburg. NC State and Virginia Tech are scoreless. This is Virginia Tech baseball from IMG. Back at English Field at Union Park as we move to the top of the fourth inning on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Virginia Tech and number 10 NC State are scoreless. Dave Pulaski with you as the two lefties, both of varying experience. Ian Seymour for Virginia Tech, just a freshman. Brian Brown, a senior, but both matching zeros on the board through the first three frames. And NC State is going to send up Brett Kinnaman, Will Wilson, and Evan Edwards to try and break the ice here against the freshman from Massachusetts. Numbers 2, 3, and 4 batters. As Seymour completes his warm-up tosses. And we're all set to go here as we move into the fourth inning. As we mentioned, several hundred fans here at the ballpark on this Saturday afternoon, and still have a gathering of fans just beyond the exterior fence, looking in from the hilltop on the outside. A couple sitting near a tree as Ian Seymour delivers a first pitch strike to Brett Kinnaman. Grounded into a double play his first time up in the first inning. Left-handed batter with an open stance, the 0-1 pitch. Kinnaman holds up on his swing and takes down low. 1 ball, 1 strike. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for NC State. No runs, 2 hits, and no errors for Virginia Tech. Seymour winds from the third base side of the rubber. The 1-1 pitch is just down low. Some groans from the Hokie fans wanting that call from home plate umpire Jeremy Dupree. Couldn't get it, and the count's now 2-1. Kinnaman from York, Pennsylvania, swings and hits a high fly ball out to right field. Going back, Cam Irvin to the warning track, still twisting in the breeze, reaches up, and he makes the catch in front of the scoreboard in right field. Cam Irvin started out going back toward the bullpen fence. Then he had to range to his right by about 25 feet as the wind ended up catching it and pulled it out towards center field. Irvin able to stick with it. He ended up making a bit of a snow cone catch off to his right side as he made the grab in front of the scoreboard, and that's the first out of the inning. Now Will Wilson, first pitch up high, ball 1. Kinnaman, of course, a dangerous threat with the bat with 12 home runs this season. Very nearly got his 13th, but the ball ended up about 5 feet short. Now a hard line drive up the middle over the head of Seymour and past the outstretched reach of Jack Owens and into center field for a base hit. A scalding line drive from Wilson, and NC State has their 4th hit of the ball game. All of them singles, all of them coming in successive innings. They've had a hit in each of the first 4 here against Ian Seymour, but so far, no runs to show for it. Evan Edwards now the batter, a fly out to left field his first time up. From the belt, the first pitch is on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. 1 down, top of the 4th inning. Edwards, junior first baseman. Seymour throws over to first, and getting back to the bag standing up is Will Wilson. Edwards made a nice diving play defensively in the last half inning, robbing Luke Horansky of a potential extra base hit down the right field line. The 0-1 pitch is over at the knees. Nice spot by Seymour. Took a little something off that one. Froze Edwards, and the count quickly 0-2. Evan Edwards, his sophomore year in junior college at USC Lancaster, a .342 batter with 17 home runs last year. He also had 12 stolen bases in 57 games. Averaged an RBI per game for the Lancers of USC Lancaster. Seymour takes a deep breath on the mound as he looks in for his sign. Has it from Luke Horansky. Comes set at the belt, and now the 0-2. Fastball. Edwards checks his swing, lays off the high one. The count now at 1-2. Edwards was named a JUCO All-American last season, thanks to that 17 home run performance. As Seymour from the belt delivers a 1-2 pitch. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Edwards was looking for something other than a fastball. And as soon as he saw it come in and cross over the outside corner of the plate, he turned right around and headed back to the first base dugout, muttering to himself as he guessed off speed and guessed wrong. 2 outs in the inning. And a runner at first base with Patrick Bailey now stepping up. Switch hitting catcher batting from the right side. He is 0 for 1 today. A ground out to second base, and the first pitch is a little bit inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Bailey hit that hard ground ball up the middle, but Jack Owens was shading him toward second base, made it an easy play in that first at bat. Now takes a strike on the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ian Seymour tugging at his maroon and orange cap before getting back onto the bump. Now working quickly, has the sign and come set. And a throw over to first will chase Wilson back to the bag standing up. Patrick Bailey, in his senior year of high school, batted .510. Had 5 homers and 33 RBIs in 28 games last year for Wesleyan Christian Academy. Went too far in the check swing there, and the count is now 1-2. Bailey played for the USA Baseball under-18 team in 2016. Played 6 games for that national team. Started 4 of them. Now behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Seymour again throws over to first, and Wilson back standing up. No score, top of the 4th inning. NC State and Virginia Tech, the finale of this 3-game series. Tech got the first one, 10-2 on Thursday. Wolfpack answered back with a 14-2 win yesterday. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, got him out in front of an off-speed pitch. And Patrick Bailey goes down on strikes for the 3rd out of the inning, and that is strikeout number 5 for Ian Seymour here this afternoon. The lefty is dialing up zeros. And after 3.5 here in Blacksburg, it's NC State nothing, Virginia Tech nothing. This is Virginia Tech baseball from IMG.
After the final out, please be the marketing representative outside the Hokies bullpen.
We head to the home half of the 4th inning. Virginia Tech and number 10 NC State scoreless. Dave Pulaski with you as the Hokies are sending the heart of the order to the plate against senior lefty Brian Brown, who has a minuscule ERA this season, .48. Entering play today, he has thrown 41 pitches thus far, 27 for strikes. Has 3 strikeouts and 1 walk. Cam Irvin, J.D. Bundy, and Sam Fragel will try and crack the scoreboard here against the senior left-hander. Irvin's 0 for 1, a fly out to center field his first time up. No runs, 4 hits, no errors for NC State. No runs, 2 hits, and no errors for Virginia Tech. First pitch is a changeup that misses low and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Brian Brown, 6 feet tall, 186 pounds, delivers a 1-0 pitch, and Irvin takes a strike over at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. Brown, an all-ACC academic team member each of the last 2 years. 1-1 pitch is a changeup low and outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Last year, he went 4-3 with a .376 earned run average. Was a member of the ACC All-Freshman team in 2015. 2-1 pitch. Irvin pops it up foul behind home plate to the first base side. And that ball is going to land foul in the stands. A round of applause as a fan was able to make that catch. 2-2 count against Cam Irvin. Hokies freshman right fielder, right-handed batter, and the 2-2 pitch is guided foul into the NC State dugout. One of the players, in fact it was Johnny Piedmont, yesterday's starter, tried to make a catch with his right hand, and I'm sure head coach Elliot Avent looked over saying, don't try and grab it with your bare hand, and your throwing hand no less. 2-2 pitch. Irvin swings and pops it up right side, drifting toward the stands in foul territory. Evan Edwards has room, and 5 feet in front of the 3-foot-tall fence that juts out down the right field line. He's able to make the catch, and that's out number 1 here in the 4th inning. J.D. Mundy now the batter. Mundy drew a walk in his first plate appearance. The Roanoke native. Brown going into his windup, and the first pitch is over on the inside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Brown standing on the third base side of the rubber. His black glove with red laces. Delivers the 0-1 pitch. And it's a fastball down low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brown, before entering college at NC State, had to overcome some personal adversity. The 1-1 pitch is just below the knees. Framed by Patrick Bailey, but couldn't get the call, and the count goes to 2-1. Brown's mother, Deborah, ended up passing away from cancer in 2014 at the age of 56, just before Brown's freshman year in college. Ground ball to second base, scooped up by J.T. Jarrett, throws to first, and J.D. Mundy is retired routinely for the second out of the inning.
Now batting, Hokies third baseman number 21, Sam Vergel.
2 outs, nobody on base, and Sam Vergel now stepping up. Had a sacrifice bunt in his first plate appearance. Couldn't even imagine that, though, losing a parent while in high school. And then going off to college about 5 states away. He's from the Philadelphia area, Glenmore, Pennsylvania. After his mother passed away, went to NC State, had a 7-3 season in 2015 and had a 2.03 earned run average. Baseball was probably one of his best distractions during that freshman year. 2 outs, nobody on base. Sam Vergel now at the plate. Brown into the windup, and the first pitch is a fastball inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Vergel, a preseason third-team All-American, named by a couple of different outlets. The 1-0 pitch is down low. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. The National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association named him a third-team preseason All-America. So did Collegiate Baseball. The 2-0 to Vergel, and he takes over at the knees. 2-1 count now to Sam. Pittsburgh native, so you have the western side of Pennsylvania facing eastern PA. Brown going up against Vergel, and now the 2-1. And Vergel lifts it out to center field. Routine play for Josh McLean. Ranges 5 steps to his right, makes the one-handed catch next to his left shoulder, and that will do it for Virginia Tech in the home half of the 4th inning. 3 up and 3 down. We head to the 5th here in Blacksburg. Number 10 NC State and Virginia Tech scoreless. This is Virginia Tech baseball from IMG.
If you have a nickel, a Virginia Tech player's screening card, and a Virginia driver's license in your pocket, be the first person to bring all 3 to the marketing table, and you can win a prize bag.
We move to the top of the 5th inning at English Field at Union Park in this scoreless ball game between Virginia Tech and number 10 NC State. Dave Pulaski with you for this series finale. Of course, this being the last game of the series. No game on Sunday in observance of Easter Sunday. Also have Passover falling during the course of this weekend. So happy Easter and happy Passover to everybody celebrating out there over this holiday weekend. NC State will be sending the numbers 6, 7, and 8 batters up against left-hander Ian Seymour. Stephen Oakley leading things off, and the first pitch is high and outside for ball 1. Oakley lined a single up the middle in his first at-bat, making his first start of the season, playing in only his 7th game. The 1-0. And Oakley takes a fastball over at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. Plenty of other action going on around the ACC today. We'll tell you about that momentarily. As Seymour goes into the windup, the 1-1 pitch. And that one is just off the outside corner, framed by Luke Horansky, the catcher. But Jeremy Dupree, the home plate umpire, wouldn't give the call. 2 balls and a strike now to Oakley. Right-handed batter stands nearly upright. The 2-1 pitch is a little bit downstairs. And the count runs to 3 balls and a strike against Oakley, the Durham, North Carolina native. 6'1", 220 pounds. Now the 3-1 pitch is down low, ball 4. Leadoff walk for NC State here in the 5th inning. That'll bring up Brock Deathridge, who struck out looking his first time up. Other games going on in the ACC right now. In Durham, 19th ranked Duke ahead of Notre Dame 2-0 in the top of the 4th inning. In Tallahassee, a battle of 2 top 20 teams, number 5 Florida State and 18th ranked Louisville, and right now the Cardinals all over the Seminoles. Deathridge squares the bunt, pops it up, back to the mound. Ian Seymour over to the first base side, reaches up and makes the 2-handed catch in fair territory. As Deathridge unable to get down the bunt, and that's the first out of the inning. Dylan Cooper now the batter. He struck out swinging his first time up. Cardinals ahead of the Seminoles 5-0 in the top of the 4th inning in Tallahassee. Florida State yet to record a hit. First pitch in the dirt. Blocked down nicely by Luke Horansky as he dropped down to his knees. Covered up that hockey 5-hole with his big black catcher's mitt, knocking the ball down. Stephen Oakley remains anchored to first. The count's now 1-0. Here's the pitch. Fastball skied out to right field. Cam Irvin looking up into the high sky here on this Saturday afternoon. Reaches up, makes the one-handed catch above his maroon and orange cap. And that's out number 2 here in the top of the 5th.
Now batting second baseman, number 42, J.T. Jarrett.
J.T. Jarrett, the number 9 batter in the NC State order, now stepping up. Other games that are going on right now, Boston College and Clemson. Scoreless, middle of the 1st inning at Doug Kingsmore Stadium down in Clemson. Tigers ranked 8th in the country. And the first pitch to Jarrett pulled the string, swing and a miss out in front, and the count's 0-1. Pitt and Virginia just about to get underway from Pittsburgh. And then a couple of other games later on today. North Carolina hosting Wake Forest, 4 o'clock start from Boschmer Stadium in Chapel Hill. The 0-1 misses high and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike, and then a 6 o'clock start in Atlanta as Georgia Tech entertains the Miami Hurricanes. And that scoreboard report brought to you by Papa John's. J.T. Jarrett, right-handed batter, and the 1-1 pitch. Fastball lifted down the right field side, slicing foul. That ball is going to make its way into the construction area down the right field side. You have a number of small bulldozers, backhoes, and construction equipment as they continue to tidy up English Field at Union Park. This facility first opened back in 1989, and they're basically building a new ballpark within the confines of the old one. A lot different between now and when it first opened 29 years ago. The 1-2 pitch. Jarrett skies it out to shallow center field. Coming on is Nick Menken. looks up, reaches up, makes the catch on the jog, and that's the final out of the inning. A leadoff walk for Ian Seymour issued to Stephen Oakley, but the Wolfpack unable to make things hurt. We're midway through here in Blacksburg. Virginia Tech and NC State are scoreless. This is Virginia Tech baseball from IMG.
One lucky fan will win a prize.
Welcome back to English Field at Union Park as we move to the bottom of the fifth inning. No score between the Hokies and the Wolfpack. Dave Pulaski with you in this Saturday series finale. Virginia Tech trying to get their first ever series win against NC State. Trying to get a nice showing against a ranked opponent here. Bottom third of the order coming up for Virginia Tech in this inning. Nick Menken, Joe Friday Jr., and Nick Owens all due up against the senior lefty Brian Brown. Hokies also trying to finish off the month of March at 500. They are 8-9 this month. And the first pitch to Nick Menken is popped up foul behind home plate. That ball will clear the roof of the press box here at English Field and head all the way back out toward the street. No balls and one strike. Menken 0 for 1. He grounded out to second base his first time up. Right-handed batter. And now the 0-1 pitch is low and outside with a changeup. 1 ball and 1 strike. Now the 1-1 pitch is a little bit low. 2 balls and a strike. Hokies with that 8-9 record in March. It's their most wins in a month since March of 2015 when they won 11 during that period. The 2-1 is a fastball, misses inside. Menken lifts his arms out of the way and he's now ahead in the count. 3 balls and a strike. Ryan Brown trying to rally back behind in the count 3-1. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball low, ball 4. And after Ian Seymour issued a leadoff walk in the top of the 5th, Brian Brown does the same on the mound for NC State in the home half of the 5th. Wolfpack were unable to make it hurt. Hokies are going to try and get something done and dent the scoreboard here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Joe Friday Jr. now the batter. He struck out looking his first time up. No runs, 4 hits, no errors for NC State. No runs, 2 hits, and no errors for Virginia Tech. Friday, the big right-handed batter. First pitch is a fastball outside, ball 1. Hokies, since joining the ACC, 35-89 against ranked opponents. In fact, 35-89 against top 10 opponents. And now the 1-0 is down low, 2 balls and no strikes. John Sheff, 26-35 against ranked opponents during his head coaching career, both at Maryland as well as here at Virginia Tech. 27-36 when you include this weekend. And now NC State's pitching coach Scott Foxhall will come out to the mound as Brian Brown has delivered balls on 6 of the first 7 pitches in this inning. John Sheff in his first year as the head coach of Virginia Tech guided the Maryland Terrapins for the last 5 seasons, got them into the NCAA Super Regional twice, made 3 NCAA tournament appearances, both while in the ACC and in the Big Ten. He is 6-3 all-time in his career against Elliott Avent from NC State. Avent with over 1,000 wins in his head coaching career. He's won more than 800 while guiding the Wolfpack. 813 and 496 as the head coach of NC State, but John Sheff has a winning record against him. Throw over to first, and back standing up is Nick Menken. A little bit of stirring going on in the NC State bullpen down the right field line, but no activity as Brian Brown's only at 62 pitches. Now the 2-0. Friday swings and hits a high fly ball into left field. Brett Kinnaman looking up into the high sky, doesn't really know where it is, still able to track it, and he's able to make the one-handed catch above his red and gray cap. And that's the first out of the inning as Kinnaman had to battle the sky, and I believe you have the sun overhead out toward right field as well, so he might have been battling that as well. But he was able to pull it in for out number 1. And now Nick Owens will hit, the number 9 man in the Tech order. 0 for 1, struck out looking his first time up. Owens, the redshirt junior shortstop out of Marvin, North Carolina. Right-handed batter, hits with an even stance. And Brown's first pitch. Squares to bunt, pops it up foul to the backstop screen on the first base side of home plate. And the count's now 0-1. Scoreless game, home half of the 5th inning. Finale of this 3-game weekend series between NC State and Virginia Tech. Brown from the third base side of the rubber, looking in for a sign. The baseball perched behind his back, just above his red belt. And now he comes set at the chest. The 0-1. Soft ground ball up the third base line. Charging hard as Cooper has it, throws on the run, and beating it out is Owens. Meanwhile, scampering all the way from first to third was Nick Menken. He read it off the bat, and on that slow grounder up the third base line, he rounded second base and didn't hesitate as he saw that Cooper was going to throw all the way to first. In the meantime, Nick Owens able to leg out the infield single, and the Hokies have runners at the corners with 1 out here in the 5th inning, and now Jack Owens in the top of the Hokie orders stepping up. Big play and a big moment here in this game, as Owens showcased that speed racing down the first base line. Able to beat it out. And now Jack Owens, who is 1 for 2 in this game, singled up the middle his first time up, and then grounded out to first in his second plate appearance. Squares to bunt, and he takes a pitch up and in, and it hits him in the left shoulder. Jack Owens heads down to first on the hit by pitch. And now Virginia Tech has the bases loaded with 1 out. And one of their hottest hitters, Tom Stoffel, now stepping up. Stoffel 1 for 2 in this game. Struck out swinging in the first inning. Then hit a hard line drive single up the middle in the third. And now Kurt Elbin, the third base coach, will make his way out to check on Nick Owens, along with the trainer. As Nick jogging between second and third right now. Brett Greisemer, team trainer, out there with Kurt Elbin, looking at Owens. Owens says he's good to go. Not sure if he might have tweaked something while legging out that infield single a moment ago. But now Virginia Tech has the bases loaded with 1 out. Scoreless ball game, and Tom Stoffel stepping up. As we said, 1 for 2 in this ball game. Brian Brown has the sign and comes set. Tech fans making noise. First pitch. Stoffel swings and hits a line drive straight back to the screen. As he was on that pitch, the count's 0-1. Ball ends up coming to a rest just above the Hokie script logo that is painted in to the artificial turf behind home plate in maroon with a white outline. Now Stoffel gets back into the left-handed box. Batting 4 for 10 against NC State this weekend. 0-1 pitch. Fastball outside. Bailey had to come out of his crouch to get that one. And the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Should Stoffel stay out of a double play here, Luke Horansky standing on deck. He of the 11-game hitting streak. Brown looking in for his sign. Has his gray and red cap pulled down low above his eyes. Stoffel sends the 1-1 pitch foul off the third base side up over the exterior fence outside the ballpark and out of play, and the count is now 1-2. Several hundred fans here on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Tech fans leaning forward in their seats a little bit more anxiously than they were before, with the bases loaded and 1 out, hoping for the first run of the ball game. Brown set, 1-2 pitch, Stoffel, ground ball to short, handled by Wilson, flips to second, on to first, a 6-4-3 double play, and NC State able to get out of a monumental jam here in the 5th inning, and now the Wolfpack fans making some noise on the first base side of the diamond. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and Virginia Tech leaves 2 men on base after the double play. We played 5 here in Blacksburg. NC State and Virginia Tech are scoreless. This is Virginia Tech baseball from IMG. We head to the top of the 6th inning at English Field at Union Park in Blacksburg in this series finale between NC State and Virginia Tech, and the Hokies have a golden opportunity go by the wayside in the bottom half of the 5th. Bases loaded with 1 out, and Tom Stoffel hit the ball on the nose, but he hit a hard ground ball to the shortstop, Will Wilson, who then made the underhand flip to JT Jarrett at second and then on to first for a 6-4-3 double play to get Brian Brown out of the jam in the 5th and keep this at a scoreless ball game. Dave Pulaski with you as NC State will now send the top of the order to the plate against the freshman lefty Ian Seymour, and the first pitch to Josh McClain misses inside for ball 1. McClain is 1 for 2 in this game. Single to center field in the 1st inning. He had a fly out to right field in the 3rd. Now the 1-0 pitch, and McClain pops it up foul to the very top of the backstop screen behind home. 1 ball and 1 strike. No runs, 4 hits, no errors for NC State. No runs, 3 hits, and no errors for Virginia Tech. The 1-1. McClain checks his swing, the appeal down to first. And Darian Padgett, the first base umpire, says he was able to hold up. A couple of oohs from the Hokie fans here in attendance. They thought McClain might have gone around. 2-1 pitch. Fastball lifted out to right field. A couple of steps back, a couple of steps in, and Cam Irvin makes the one-handed catch just above his left shoulder. And that's out number 1 here in the 6th inning.
Left fielder, number 6, Brett Kinnaman.
Brett Kinnaman now the batter. He is 0 for 2 today, although he had a near miss of a home run in his last at-bat in the 4th inning. Fly out right in front of the scoreboard in right field. First pitch is on the outside corner for strike 1. Kinnaman with 12 long balls this year, leading the ACC by a wide margin. Now the 0-1 is just off the outside edge. 1 ball and 1 strike. Kinnaman, left-handed batter against the lefty Seymour. The 1-1 pitch is on the inside corner. Nice spot there from Seymour. And the count goes to 1-2. Brett Kinnaman receiving numerous honors already this season for his offensive output. Comebacker, 1 hop into the glove of Ian Seymour. He jogs toward first base and then underhand flips it to J.D. Mundy for the 2nd out of the inning. That was a hot shot. Ian Seymour, his glove in the right spot at the right time, able to snag it on 1 bounce, and then made the flip for the 2nd out of the inning. Now Will Wilson will step up. Wilson 1 for 2 this afternoon as Luke Horansky will come out to the mound. Just wants to make sure his lefty is settled after having his heart rate jump a couple of beats with that comebacker. Part of the veteran leadership that both Hokies catchers provide, Luke Horansky and Joe Friday. As the first pitch to Will Wilson misses low and inside for ball 1. Wilson with a scalding single up the middle in the top of the 4th inning. Right-handed batter, the 1-0 pitch is down low, 2 balls and no strikes. He's just 2 for 11 in this series, but one of those hits was a 3-run homer in the top of the 1st in yesterday's ball game that set the tone for the 14-2 Wolfpack win. 2-0 pitch is a fastball up high. And the count runs to 3-0. Will Wilson, Kings Mountain, North Carolina native. Thought about swinging on 3-0, but he ends up taking a fastball inside for ball 4. And once again, Ian Seymour unable to have a clean 1-2-3 inning. He has allowed a base runner in each of the first 6 frames. Luckily, none of those base runners have advanced past second base. Evan Edwards now the batter. Lefty-lefty matchup as Seymour comes set at the belt, and the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses up high, ball 1. Edwards 0 for 2 in this game. Had a fly out to left field his first time up, and then struck out in his second plate appearance. Seymour has a sign, and now the 1-0 pitch, slide step delivery, and it's on the outside corner. Count goes to 1-1. Ian Seymour with 5 strikeouts in this game. That one to Edwards was looking in the top of the 4th inning. No score, top of the 6th inning. The shadow of a small plane ends up flying over the diamond as it goes overhead. Seymour throws over to first, and back standing up was Will Wilson. Tech defense playing Edwards slightly to pull. And now the 1-1 is popped up foul as that ball just barely cleared the roof of the press box. Count now at 1 ball and 2 strikes. The infield is actually overshifted against Edwards. The shortstop, Nick Owens, is about 5 steps to the right of second base if you're looking out from home plate. Throw over to first, and once again back standing up is Will Wilson. The second baseman, Jack Owens, is deep in the hole and about 5 steps onto the outfield grass over at second base. And J.D. Mundy holding on the runner at first. Wilson off to a 3.5-step lead on the edge of the cutout. And now the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, called strike 3 on the outside corner. Down looking once again is Evan Edwards, as Ian Seymour has his 6th strikeout of the ball game, and he has dialed up 6 scoreless innings against one of the most potent offensive teams in the entire country. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a runner left. We played 5.5 in Blacksburg. Number 10 NC State, nothing. Virginia Tech, nothing. This is Virginia Tech baseball from IMG.
Chocolate bunnies, marshmallow peeps, jelly beans, or D, chocolate cream filled egg. If you got the right answer, please head over to the marketing table for your chance to win.
Back at English Field at Union Park in Blacksburg as we move to the bottom of the 6th inning, and both lefties in a pitcher's duel here, the freshman against the senior. And right now, regardless of the experience, both very effective today. Ian Seymour, the freshman from Westboro, Massachusetts, is through 6 scoreless innings thus far for Virginia Tech. The senior Brian Brown had to dance out of trouble in the bottom of the 5th inning, trying to author up his 6th scoreless inning of work. And he's going to face the heart of the Hokie order. Luke Horansky, Cam Irvin, and J.D. Mundy all due up in the bottom of the 6th for Virginia Tech. Dave Pulaski with you here on this Saturday afternoon as Horansky steps out of the box before getting himself back in and ready to go. Brian Brown steps off the back of the rubber. Defense playing Horansky straight up, and the first pitch is off the outside edge. 1 ball, no strikes. NC State with 4 hits today, Virginia Tech with 3. And now the 1-0 is on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Couple of wispy clouds overhead over on the third base side of the field. Outside of that, nothing but clear blue skies. 1-1 pitch, and Horansky takes down low. Ball skipped on the artificial turf just beyond home plate. Scooped up by Patrick Bailey, the catcher, and the count now at 2-1. Brown into the windup from the third base side of the rubber, the 2-1 pitch. Horansky swings and lifts it foul on the third base side. Long run for Dylan Cooper near the wall. He's going to run out of room. And that ball is going to bounce up onto the amphitheater-style seating down the third base line, which is being utilized by a good couple of hundred people today. They have the Hokie Stone motif going across, bleacher-style seating, all the way down the left field line toward the corner in the brand new James Weaver Baseball Center. The 2-2 pitch. Horansky foul tips it off the mask of Bailey. And he stays alive at 2-2. That baseball center down the left field line in the corner in foul territory houses several indoor batting cages, and the Hokies just moved into their brand new locker room in the downstairs portion earlier this week. 2-2 pitch. Horansky hits a bouncing ball, fair ball on the first base side. Evan Edwards has it, flips it to Brown covering first, and that's the first out of the inning. 3-1 goes to scoring. And there's one down with Cam Irvin now stepping up. Irvin is 0 for 2 today. Had a fly out to center field his first time up, then popped out to first in foul territory his second trip to the plate. Irvin, the freshman from Penn Laird, Virginia, waving that black and silver aluminum bat above his right shoulder. First pitch, swings and hits a high drive out toward right center field. Josh McLean coming in, Brock Deathridge as well, and that ball's going to land in between them. A base hit for Cam Irvin, as that ball had a lot of height, but both outfielders playing relatively deep. And as that ball started to come down, it ended up splitting both McLean and Deathridge perfectly. And JT Jarrett couldn't get out there far enough either. The Bermuda Triangle single for Cam Irvin. And now a runner at first with one out, and J.D. Mundy stepping up. Mundy 0 for 1. Walked in the second inning, then grounded out in the fourth. Throw over to first, and they have Irvin picked off. He stumbled as he went diving back in, then started to get up. And Evan Edwards was there waiting for him to apply the tag. Pick off 1-3. And just like that, Hokies now have the bases empty with 2 outs in the inning, and Irvin's going to make his way over to Kurt Elbin, the third base coach, for a brief tutorial before heading back to the dugout. Now the first pitch to Mundy. Swings and foul tips it behind home plate. No balls and 1 strike. No runs, 4 hits, no errors for both teams here today. Finale of this 3-game set. NC State trying to keep their conference series winning streak going, as Mundy takes low and outside on a breaking ball. Makes it 1 ball and 1 strike. State has won 6 straight conference series. That is the longest active streak in the ACC. The 1-1 is up and away with a fastball. 2 balls and a strike now. Virginia Tech, meanwhile, trying to get their first ever series win against NC State. Got swept last year in Raleigh. The 2-1 is chopped foul on the first base side. Count now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brian Brown, number 38 in the gray jersey. All gray uniforms for NC State today with red letters outlined in white. They have the gray caps with the red bill and the NC State logo in red on the front of the crown. 2-2 pitch. Mundy lifts it foul behind home. Ball pops off of the facing of the press level and then deflects all the way down into the front row of seats next to the Tech dugout. And the count remains at 2-2. Brown looking over the top of his black and red glove. Into the windup, 2-2 pitch. Another one guided foul to the backstop screen. Mundy staying alive, putting up a good fight here. And the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wind blowing straight across from right to left field at about 5 to 10 miles an hour today. Now the 2-2 is chopped foul behind home. Mundy still battling up there, getting some applause from his Hokies teammates in the third base dugout. Making Brian Brown work now at 84 pitches for the ball game, 52 strikes. Still no activity in either bullpen right now as both lefties are dealing. Another 2-2. Mundy takes up and in with a fastball. And the count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Mundy 2 for 9 against NC State this weekend. A .267 career batter against the Wolfpack. 4 for 15. And now the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, gone with a fastball. And that will do it for Virginia Tech in the bottom of the 6th inning. They get a 1-out single from Cam Irvin. He's then picked off at first. And the Hokies end up leaving nobody on base. We're through 6 in Blacksburg. Number 10 NC State and Virginia Tech are scoreless. This is Virginia Tech baseball from IMG. Welcome back to English Field at Union Park in Blacksburg as we move to the 7th inning of a scoreless ball game between 10th-ranked NC State and Virginia Tech. Dave Pulaski with you for this series finale. They're about 20 minutes away from tip-off in Bloomington, Indiana, the WNIT Championship. Virginia Tech squaring off against the Indiana Hoosiers. Andrew Allegretta on the call for that one out in the Midwest. They'll be rejoining Hokie baseball coming up next week. And right now, Virginia Tech in a battle here against one of the top 10 teams in the country. And the first pitch to Patrick Bailey misses inside for ball 1. Ian Seymour at 87 pitches. He has 49 strikes so far in this game. 6 strikeouts. And the 1-0 pitch misses high. Count runs to 2-0. Seymour scattered 4 hits and 2 walks through the course of his first 6 innings. He is yet to retire the side in order. The lefty into the windup, 2-0 pitch is a fastball on the inside part of the plate. No ball, or make that 2 balls and 1 strike. Activity beginning for Virginia Tech in the bullpen down the left field line. As Seymour delivers a 2-1, swing and a miss at a high fastball. And Bailey yells at himself after swinging at that shoulder-high pitch. Now adjusts his red batting helmet as he gets back into the box. Counts even at 2-2. Here's a pitch. Fastball low and inside. And the count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Now Seymour delivers a payoff pitch. Swing and a miss as he foul tips it into the glove of Luke Kuransky. Makes the squeeze and the catch for the first out of the inning. That's strikeout number 7 for Ian Seymour. And Patrick Bailey may have swung at ball 4 on that one, as that one was darting out of the zone, tailing away from Bailey, but he couldn't hold up. And there's 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning, and Stephen Oakley now stepping up. Seymour has yet to retire Oakley in this game. The first pitch is a changeup that misses outside for ball 1. Oakley making his first start of the season. He is the DH today for NC State. Singled in the 2nd inning and then walked in the 5th. And the 1-0 pitch misses inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Andrew McDonald is loosening up for Virginia Tech down in the left field bullpen as Oakley chops the ball foul on the third base side past the Hokies dugout. And the count goes to 2-1. Stephen Oakley, redshirt sophomore from Durham, North Carolina. Now the 2-1 pitch is lifted foul to the backstop. Seymour, after falling behind, able to battle back to a 2nd straight hitter. And now the count is at 2-2. Oakley played in only 3 games during his redshirt freshman season last year. He was redshirted in 2016. Now the 2-2. High drive out to left field. Tom Stoffel going back at the warning track, has room, and he makes the one-handed catch about 10 feet in front of the fence as he stepped onto the warning track and made the one-handed grab above his right shoulder and next to his maroon and orange cap, and that's out number 2. Not enough wind here on this Saturday afternoon to help lift the ball over the fence, as the American flag and state of Virginia flag in center field, waving lightly at about 5 miles an hour, going from right to left, but not strong enough to push that one over the wall. First pitch to Brock Deathridge, misses up and in, ball 1. Deathridge 0 for 2 in this game, struck out looking in the 2nd inning, and then a failed sacrifice bunt attempt resulted in a pop out to the pitcher. 1-0 pitch on the outside corner with a fastball, and the count now at 1-1. Deathridge hitting .310 on the season. Now the 1-1 is low and inside. Count goes to 2-1 now against Deathridge. Left-handed batter. Stands tight in that left-handed box toward home plate. And now Deathridge being called back toward the dugout by head coach Elliot Avon. Avent puts his left arm around Deathridge as he offers up some coaching tools. Ahead in the count 2-1 in this scoreless game in the top of the 7th inning. Both teams have 4 hits. Ian Seymour trying to record a 1-2-3 inning for the first time here today. He's at exactly 100 pitches right now, with 56 going for strikes. Seymour into the wind, and the 2-1. On the outside corner, perfectly placed by the freshman from Massachusetts. And the count goes to 2-2. Hokie fans clapping along, hoping to get a strikeout. 2-2 pitch. Fastball, lifted foul on the third base side. That's going to slice into the bleacher-style amphitheater seats down the left field line, and the count remains at 2-2. Brock Deathridge with an open stance in that left-handed batter's box. Seymour looking over the top of his dark brown mitt. Shaking off the catcher Luke Horansky, Deathridge gets impatient and steps out. And now he's back in, tapping his aluminum bat against the outside corner of home plate. Infield overshifted against Deathridge, 2-2 pitch. Hard ground ball, right side, and that one's going to sneak through the hole, even despite the overshift. Base hit for Deathridge into right center field. He'll stop at first, and now the Wolfpack have a 2-out base runner here in the top of the 7th inning, and Dylan Cooper stepping up. Even with both Owenses on the right side of second base, Deathridge was able to sneak that one through. And now Dylan Cooper will be the batter. 0 for 2 today. Struck out swinging and also had a fly out to right. Right-handed batter against the lefty Seymour. And a throw over to first, and Deathridge back standing up. Now the wind picking up a little bit, going from right to left. As those flags above the batter's eye in straightaway center field becoming a little bit more unfurled. Another throw over to first, and Deathridge back standing. No score, top of the 7th inning. Hokies facing the 10th ranked NC State Wolfpack. They're ranked as high as number 6 by collegiate baseball. Seymour set at the belt, first pitch, high and outside. As a low-flying glider plane makes its way out beyond the right center field fence. And now Ryan Fecteau, the Virginia Tech pitching coach, will make his way out to the mound. Seymour behind in the count 1-0, and I believe Fecteau made the signal to the bullpen. Andrew McDonald is going to come into the ballgame. And Ian Seymour will have his day come to a close after 6 2/3 innings. And now a nice round of applause from the Tech fans here in attendance. Ian Seymour's day is done after 6 2/3 innings. He'll leave with a runner as his responsibility at first base. New pitcher coming into the game. We'll tell you about Andrew McDonald next, as this is Virginia Tech baseball from IMG.
Your attention, please. This Hokie Storm bullpen is brought to you by X-Mark. X-Mark's professional mall equipment trusted 2-1 by top ranking pros in the next best-selling brand of zero-turn mowers. Now pitching for your Hokies, number 33, Andrew McDonald.
Welcome back to English Field at Union Park as we continue the top half of the 7th inning. Ian Seymour done after 6 2/3 brilliant innings, as he ended up giving up 5 hits as well as a pair of walks, and he is responsible for the runner at first base as Andrew McDonald is now into the ball game, a 6'6", 240-pound redshirt senior out of Cincinnati, Ohio, making his team-leading 14th appearance of the season, all out of the bullpen. A 1-4 record with a 3.55 earned run average, 29 strikeouts and 11 walks over 25 1/3 innings. And he'll be facing NC State's third baseman Dylan Cooper with a runner at first base and 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. McDonald getting a couple of final words of encouragement from Sam Fragale, the third baseman, as he completes his warm-up tosses. Now rubbing up the baseball behind the mound. And we're all ready to go again here in Blacksburg. Virginia Tech in the home white uniforms, white jerseys with white pants. They say Hokies in maroon across the front, outlined in orange. Maroon numbers outlined in orange on the front and back. Plain white pants. The maroon and orange cap. As McDonald out of the set, delivers the first pitch, a swing and a miss by Cooper. And the count is 1-1 as McDonald inherited the 1-0 count. 1 ball, 1 strike against Dylan Cooper. He is 0 for 2 in this ball game today. Brock Deathridge with a 3-step lead at first base, the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Missed on a breaking ball. Runner moves on the pitch, and Deathridge able to dive in safely. He almost fell off the bag as the tag was applied by the second baseman, Jack Owens. The ball ended up squirting out of the glove of Luke Horansky just behind him, and Deathridge, recognizing that, took off for second base and ended up advancing. I believe that'll be scored a pass ball, and it is. So a runner at second base now with 2 outs, and Andrew McDonald ahead in the count, 1-2. Horansky, a brief conversation with McDonald down on the mound, his right arm dangling next to his body as he takes the sign. Comes set at the belt. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on a slider in the dirt, picked up by Horansky. Sets up, throws down to first. Bundy tags the bag, and that will do it for NC State in the top half of the 7th inning. Strikeout 2-3, and NC State gets no runs on 1 hit with no errors, and they leave a runner at second base. We've reached the 7th inning stretch here in Blacksburg. Number 10 NC State and Virginia Tech are still scoreless. This is Virginia Tech baseball from IMG. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning at English Field at Union Park in Blacksburg. Scoreless game between 10th-ranked NC State and Virginia Tech. Dave Pulaski with you. Left-hander Brian Brown is done for the day after 6 scoreless innings. He ended up allowing 4 runs, or 4 hits rather, while he also gave up 2 walks and struck out 4. And now he gives way to right-hander Reed Johnston. 6'2", 195-pound freshman out of Enfield, North Carolina. Making his 11th appearance of the season, his 9th out of the bullpen. A 2-0 record with an ERA of 1.88. 19 strikeouts and only 1 walk in 24 innings pitched. And he'll be going up against the numbers 6, 7, and 8 batters for Virginia Tech in the home half of the 7th. Sam Fragale, Nick Menken, and Joe Friday Jr. all due up against the right-hander, Reed Johnston. A beautiful Saturday afternoon here at English Field at Union Park. This ballpark undergoing continual renovations. And the first pitch to Fragale is popped up foul to the backstop screen. No balls and 1 strike. Still construction equipment visible down the right field line between the NC State dugout and the right field corner. They're also in the process of building a new scoreboard. The 0-1 pitch is over at the knees. And Fragale behind in the count, 0-2. Just to the left of the current scoreboard, they have the metal framework for what will be both a scoreboard and a video board. The 0-2 to Fragale is low and outside with a fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That current scoreboard here at English Field has been around for the last 20 or so years. The 1-2. Fragale inside-out swing, comebacker off the glove of Johnston, scrambles, picks it up, throws to first, and they just nab Fragale by an eyelash at first base. Johnston, after having the ball pop off of his mitt, had to race about 10 feet to his right to pick it up. Picked it up barehanded and then rifled it over to first base, just barely nabbing Fragale for the first out of the inning. And now Nick Menken will be the batter. One out in the home half of the 7th. Menken is 0 for 1, a ground out to second base and also a walk. Hokies have threatened on numerous occasions in this game. They've stranded 5 on base this afternoon. Menken swings and misses at the first pitch and actually drops down to his knee on the follow-through. He wanted to send that ball to Roanoke, ended up coming up empty. No balls and 1 strike. Of those 5 that Virginia Tech has left on base, as the 0-1 pitch misses out of the zone, 1 ball and 1 strike. 3 of those 5 stranded on base have been left at third. The 1-1 popped up foul. That ball is going to clang off of one of the windows just to our right off the facing of the NC State radio booth. The ball carrying back down to the field. An unsuspecting NC State fan sitting in the stands very nearly got hit by that redirected baseball, and the count now at 1-2 as Menken steps out of the box, adjusts his white and maroon batting gloves, and now Hokies head coach John Sheff coming out of the third base dugout, asking something of Jeremy Dupree. And now Dupree will take a walk over to him, midway between the dugout and home plate as they talk things over. Wondering if it's related to Reed Johnston's glove. It is a relatively light tan mitt that he has. And when it comes to gloves, they can't be too light to mimic the white baseball. Whatever explanation Sheff got and whatever question he asked, he appears to be satisfied because he heads back to the dugout. And now the 1-2 pitch. Inside out swing, grounded down to first, foul. Knocked down by first base coach Michael Thomas, and the count remains at 1-2. Johnston looking over the top of that light brown glove, goes into the windup and the 1-2. Popped up foul, first base side, slicing out of play. Still a 1-2 count against Nick Menken. Menken hitting .209 for the season. does have 2 home runs. And the 1-2 pitch is a fastball up high. Came in above the letters, and the count now even at 2-2. Mencken, the junior from Bartlett, Illinois. 2-2 pitch is off the outside corner. Wolfpack fans wanted the call. Wouldn't get it from Jeremy Dupree, and the count now runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Wind now blowing in from center field as the 3-2 pitch comes in. It's inside, ball 4. Mencken draws his second walk of the game, and the Hokies have a 1-out base runner here in the bottom of the 7th in this scoreless contest. And now Joe Friday Jr. will step up. Friday 0 for 2. Struck out looking back in the second inning, then had a fly out to left in the 5th. Joe Friday Jr., the Lakeville, Massachusetts native. Johnston from the stretch. First pitch is a fastball over at the knees, strike 1. Reed Johnston actually serves as a 2-way player for the Wolfpack. He's both a pitcher and an infielder. But his greatest value so far this season has been out of the bullpen. In fact, he hasn't even had an at-bat as a position player. But listed on the roster as a guy who can do double duty. The 0-1 pitch is a fastball over at the knees and on the outside corner. Johnston quickly ahead in the count, 0-2. Johnston went to Rocky Mount Academy for high school. He was a 2A All-State performer. As a senior, he batted .419 during his senior season last year. The 0-2 pitch, runner moving, pitches outside, throw down to second, diving in head first. Mencken gets tagged out on the stolen base attempt. JT Jarrett throws down the tag, just barely getting the hand of Nick Mencken before he's able to dive into the base. Caught stealing 2-4, and Hokies have that base runner erased. And now it's a 1-2 count against Joe Friday Jr. with the bases empty and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Now the pitch. Friday takes up and outside. Count now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Friday with 2 homers this season, a .293 batter. 3 for 9 against NC State this weekend. And now the 2-2. Low and outside. Friday able to lay off. Count runs full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. In addition to that .419 batting average that Johnston boasted for his senior year of high school, he also had a 1.04 earned run average with 81 strikeouts in 47 innings. 3-2 pitch popped up foul. That one will bang off of one of the windows of the press level and back down into the stands. And the count remains full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Righty-righty matchup. Johnston into the windup, another payoff pitch. Another one popped up foul, and that one will smack off the back wall of the suite level. And a fan up in the stands ends up corralling that baseball. The suite level here well occupied on this Saturday afternoon, and now another 3-2 pitch. Friday, line drive up the middle. That's going to get into center field for a base hit. Good at bat by Joe Friday Jr. Fell behind in the count 0-2. Worked it all the way back to full, fouled off a couple of pitches at 3-2, and then sent a laser up the middle. And Virginia Tech now with a 2-out base runner here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Nick Owens now stepping up. He's 1 for 2 in this game, reached on an infield single, a roller up the third base line his last time up. Johnston from the extreme first base side of the rubber, his toe barely touching that slab. And now he delivers a pitch. Owen swings at the first pitch, skies it out to shallow center field. Coming in, Josh McClain. Going back, the shortstop, Will Wilson. They very nearly collide. And the catch made by McClain and that's going to be the final out of the inning. Make that Wilson ended up snagging it right from Adam McLean's hand. And that will do it for Virginia Tech in the home half of the 7th inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a runner left. We head to the 8th in Blacksburg. No score between 10th-ranked NC State and Virginia Tech. This is Virginia Tech baseball from IMG.
Also, fans, make sure you stick around for today's post-game autograph session at the conclusion of the game. After the final out, we'll see the marching representative outside the Hokies bullpen.
The battle of goose eggs continues here in Blacksburg. No score between NC State and Virginia Tech as we head to the top of the 8th inning. Dave Pulaski with you in this Saturday series finale. No game on Sunday for the Easter holiday. And Andrew McDonald back out there for his first full inning of relief work. And he'll be facing a pinch hitter for NC State to begin this 8th inning. Stephen Patera will bat for JT Jarrett. Patera has seen limited action this year because of a hamstring injury. And the first pitch is down low on a fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. Patera just 3 for 8 batting this season. He played the opening weekend against Seton Hall and then suffered a hamstring injury that required surgery. He missed the next 5 weeks. The 1-0 is a fastball over at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. Patera, left-handed batter, senior from Cary, North Carolina, just outside of Raleigh. Andrew McDonald from the stretch. The 1-1 pitch skips in the dirt. And Patera's claiming that the ball ended up hitting his red cleat top. Home plate umpire Jeremy Dupree says, stay right here, that ball didn't get you. Elliot Avon out of the first base dugout to argue it. Patera hopping up and down, pointing at the top of his left cleat. And now Dupree is going to ask for help from the rest of the umpiring crew to see whether or not that ball actually did hit Stephen Patera. Dupree says no, and now a conference between the 4 umpires taking place just to the right of the pitcher's mound. Meanwhile, Andrew McDonald being joined by Luke Horansky over on the pitcher's mound talking things over. Sam Fergal also joining in on that conversation as Patera looks on anxiously, holding a bat in his hand, still claiming that that ball got him in the foot. No score. Top of the 8th inning, and they are going to award Patera first base on the hit by pitch. Wolfpack fans applauding, Hokies fans booing. As the leadoff man is on for NC State here in the top of the 8th inning of this scoreless ball game, and now head coach John Sheff out of the third base dugout saying, well, you're the home plate umpire, you're the closest one to it. If you didn't think it hit him, why would an umpire 90 feet away think so? Trying to make his best argument. Nonetheless, the Wolfpack do have the leadoff man on. And Josh McLean will step up He is 1 for 3 in this game, singled back in the first inning. Since then, a pair of flyouts to right field. Patera, even without that hamstring injury that sidelined him earlier this season, not the swiftest of base runners. Last year, he went 1 for 6 on stolen base attempts in 52 games. And now Ryan Fecteau, the Tech pitching coach, will make his way out of the dugout. Activity going on for Virginia Tech as a couple of guys just starting to get loose down in the left field corner. Joey Sullivan is one of them. And it looks like Graham Seitz is the other. Full mound conference, the entire Hokie infield joining in, as now Dupree will make his walk out to the mound to try and break things up and move it along. Only 2 hours and 11 minutes into this game, and we're in the top of the 8th inning. Scoreless ball game, both teams with 5 hits. Wolfpack getting the leadoff man on, Steven Patera pinch hitting, and he was hit by a pitch as the ball ended up grazing the top of his left cleat. And now Josh McClain up with nobody out in the top of the 8th inning. McDonald comes set at the belt. First pitch, there goes Patera, swing and a miss. High throw from Horansky down to second base. Patera dives in and he is safe. His left foot just barely held onto the base, and Patera a little bit slow getting up. Now waving back to the dugout saying, "I'm all right, get back in there." But the trainer is still going to make his way out to take a look at Steven Patera, just coming back from that hamstring injury. Patera was able to dive in head first safely. And now he's walking in between first and second. His helmet off, helmet in his right hand. Now his hands on his knees as he tries to shake off whatever might be ailing him at this moment. Scott Ensel, the NC State trainer, walking along with him down the right field line right now behind first base. A big stolen base for Steven Patera. He went just 1 for 6 on steals last season. That was his first stolen base this year. Maybe tweaked something with that hamstring. Had to miss 5 weeks after undergoing surgery for it. In the meantime, Brett Kinnaman is stepping up to the batter's box for NC State, and now Elliot Avent, the head coach, with a very vocal argument. And Steven Patera, I believe, is being sent back to first base. I think they're going to rule interference against Josh McClain for getting in the way of Luke Horansky on the throw. Avent beside himself as he's pointing now in between first and second base, still arguing with Jeremy Dupree, the home plate umpire. So McClain is ruled out for interfering with the catcher on the throw down to second. Officially, if you're scoring that, it ends up being a put out by the catcher unassisted. And in the meantime, Patera has that stolen base wiped from his record. He has to head back to first base, and in the meantime, may have suffered an injury in the process. And now Patera jogging up and down the first base line as the head coach and trainer look on. They want to make sure Patera is good to go here. 1 out in the top of the 8th inning. A wild sequence of events, and now Patera is going to come out of the contest, and there will be a pinch runner for him. It'll be Terrell Tatum. a freshman outfielder from Collierville, Tennessee. So Tatum will pinch run for Patera after he suffered an apparent leg injury while trying to beat out that stolen base attempt that ended up not happening. Josh McClain ruled out for interference, getting in the way of Luke Horansky's throw. And now with one out and a runner at first, Brett Kinnaman stepping up. First pitch is down low on a slider. 1 ball and no strikes. Kinnaman is 0 for 3 in this game. Grounded into a double play in the first inning, had a fly out to right in the fourth, and a comebacker to the pitcher in the sixth. McDonald set. The 1-0 pitch is a fastball off the outside corner. And the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. NC State players leaning over the top railing in their first base dugout looking on as McDonald delivers a 2-0. Fastball down low. Picked out of the dirt by Horansky. Tatum has to stay put at first, and the count now 3-0. Brett Kinnaman, one of the nation's deadliest home run hitters. We'll see if he gets a green light here on 3-0. 12 home runs this season. Junior out of York, Pennsylvania. McDonald works from the middle of the pitcher's rubber. 3-0 pitch. Kinnaman takes all the way and takes a strike thigh high on the outside part of the plate for strike 1. Double barrel action continuing for the Hokies down the left field line in the bullpen as Seitz and Sullivan continue to get loose. 3-1 pitch. And that's a strike on the inside corner. Kinnaman thought about swinging, but a late cut to that fastball ended up darting in toward his hands, and he held up. The count's now even and full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, top of the 8th inning, scoreless ball game. Brett Kinnaman, a lethal offensive threat at the plate. Here's a payoff pitch. There goes Tatum. Pitch is in the dirt for ball 4. Throw down to second doesn't matter. Kinnaman heads down to first on the walk. And now NC State has runners at first and second with 1 out in the inning. And Will Wilson now stepping up. It was Wilson who hit a 3-run homer in the top of the first inning against Tech in yesterday's 14-2 win. Now comes up with 2 runners on base here in the top of the 8th today in this scoreless ball game. Horansky out to the mound to talk things over with Andrew McDonald, maybe go over a scouting report. No runs on 5 hits with no errors for both sides here in this ball game. Terrell Tatum on at second base as a pinch runner. Brett Kinnaman on at first base. He just walked. Big crowd on hand here at English Field at Union Park looking on. And the first pitch to Wilson is a slider that misses high, ball 1. Will Wilson, a collegiate baseball preseason All-American. Was a D1 baseball freshman All-American last year. Started all 61 games for the Wolfpack, and now Ryan Fecto will come out of the third base dugout, and that's going to mean a pitching change for Virginia Tech here in the top of the 8th inning. Both Sullivan and Seitz are ready. Conference continuing on the mound as Jeremy Dupree now walks out to speed things along. And Fecto does make the signal to the bullpen. Andrew McDonald is out here in the top of the 8th inning, and he'll leave behind runners at first and second base. McDonald gets a round of applause from the Hokie fans in attendance. New pitcher coming into the ballgame in this scoreless contest in the top of the 8th. We'll tell you about the new pitcher for Tech coming up next, as this is Virginia Tech baseball from IMG.
A-Smart. A-Smart professional mowing equipment, trusted 2-to-1 by top landscape pros over the next best-selling brand of zero-turn mowers. Now pitching Queer Hokies, number 28, Graham Sight.
Welcome back to English Field at Union Park as we continue the top half of the 8th inning. A new pitcher on for Virginia Tech, their third hurler of the ball game. It is right-hander Graham Sights, 6'3", 210-pound sophomore out of Reston, Virginia, just outside of Washington, D.C. in Northern Virginia. Sights making his 14th appearance of the season. He now ties Andrew McDonald for the team lead in that category. Has a 2-0 record with a 4.72 earned run average. 13 strikeouts and 6 walks in 13 1/3 innings pitched. And he comes in with shortstop Will Wilson facing a 1-0 count and runners at first and second base here in the top of the 8th inning of a scoreless ball game. Hey, Hokie fans, if you haven't already, check out our Virginia Tech Athletics podcast. It's called Hokie Pod. Coming soon, The John Sheff Show, a weekly podcast on Virginia Tech baseball. You can find it on iTunes and just search Hokie Pod. Dave Pulaski with you as we continue the top half of the 8th inning. Sights finishing up his warm-up tosses. He pitched an inning against the Wolfpack in Thursday's series opener, ended up tossing a perfect frame with 1 strikeout. And now Will Wilson returning to the plate with a 1-0 count. Terrell Tatum on at second base. He pinch ran for Steven Patera, who was hit by a pitch to open the inning. And Brett Kinnaman is on at first base. He walked on a full count. Both of those runners are Andrew McDonald's responsibility. 1 out, top of the 8th inning. Wilson stepping back into the right-handed box with a 1-0 count. Facing the righty, Graham Sights. As the sign comes out at the belt. And the 1-0 is a slider that's over at the knees. Count goes to 1-1. Will Wilson last season batted .300 and had 72 hits for the Wolfpack last year. One of the reasons why he was a freshman All-American. Sights at the belt. 1-1 pitch. Slider, swing and a miss. Got him out in front as he pulled the string. And the count goes to 1-2. Wilson, 2 for 11 against Virginia Tech this weekend. One of those hits coming today. He is 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. The other hit that 3-run homer in the first inning yesterday. Turnaround and a throw to second as Jack Owens races over to cover. Terrell Tatum dives back in safely as the throw very nearly pulled Owens off the bag. Still a 1-2 count against Wilson. Batting .327 this season with 7 home runs. Sights steps off the back of the rubber, now back on as Luke Horansky goes through the signs once again. Infield. Bunch slightly to pull against Wilson. The 1-2 pitch, a slider low and outside. Good stop by Horansky. Tatum stays anchored to second base. And the count now goes to 2-2. Tom Stoffel in straightaway left field, giving away a good amount of space down the left field line if Wilson can pick it down into the corner. Taking away that left center field gap a little bit. 1-2 pitch. Popped up foul toward the press area, and that ball bangs off of one of the railings right next to the suite level. And the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 count, 1 out. Top of the 8th inning, scoreless ball game between number 10 NC State and Virginia Tech. Graham Sights has the sign and comes set. Takes a peek at second. Now looks back a second time. And the 2-2 pitch. Line drive down the left field side. That's going to hook foul in the Hokies bullpen area. And the count remains 2-2. Will Wilson putting up a battle here. The king in the Hokies bullpen. 175 pounds. Seitz getting the sequence of signs from Luke Horansky, and now time called by Wilson at the plate. Hokies outfield is deep and relatively straight up with the exception of Stoffel, as we mentioned earlier. 2-2 pitch. Fastball driven out toward right center field. Long run for Nick Menken. He's going to track it down, make the catch. Tatum tags at second. He's going to take third. And it's going to be runners at the corners for the Wolfpack here. But now with 2 outs in the inning, and Seitz with a chance to get out of the jam. With that wind blowing straight across from right to left field, that made it a much easier play for Menken. Didn't have to cover as much ground as the wind blew that ball back in his direction. The wind going between 10 and 15 miles an hour right now. Evan Edwards now the batter. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. Top of the 8th inning, no score. Terrell Tatum on at third base. Brett Kinnaman at first. The first pitch, Edwards, hard ground ball, past the sliding J.D. Mundian into right field for a base hit. Tatum scores, rounding second and heading into third is Kinnaman, and NC State's on the board. An RBI single by Evan Edwards, and it's 1-0 Wolfpack. A hot shot just above the glove of J.D. Mundy, who tried to make a backhand diving attempt, but he came up empty. And a huge RBI single for Evan Edwards gets the Wolfpack on the board here in the 8th inning. Now Patrick Bailey will bat. Switch hitter. He's moved around to the left side for the first time here today. And the first pitch is down low, ball 1. Runners at the corners once again for NC State. That run charged to Andrew McDonald. He's still responsible for the runner at third base, Brett Kinnaman. Hokies infield with the overshift here against Bailey. The 1-0 pitch is on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hokies will have the top of the order due up in the bottom of the 8th inning. Jack Owens, Tom Stoffel, and Luke Horansky. And now they face their first deficit in this game, trailing 1-0. 1-1 pitch out in front of an off speed, and a swing and a miss by Bailey. The count is now 1-2. Hokie fans clapping along, hoping to get a strikeout to get out of the inning and limit the damage to just 1 run. Seitz a deep breath as he looks in for his sign on the mound, working from the first base side of the rubber. 1-2 pitch. There goes the runner. Change up, swing and a miss for strike 3. Horansky able to make the catch in the air. Holds the glove up high for Jeremy Dupree to see. He signals the strikeout, and that will do it for NC State in the top half of the inning. But the Wolfpack end up scraping 1 run across on 1 hit. No errors, and they leave 2 on base. We're through 7.5 here in Blacksburg. NC State now leading Virginia Tech 1-0. This is Virginia Tech baseball from IMG.
Now pitching from the Wolfpack, number 44, Kenny Slider. And now playing second base for the Wolfpack, number 2, David Vasquez.
Back at English Field at Union Park as we move to the home half of the 8th inning. NC State able to scratch a run across in the top half of the frame. to grab the 1-0 lead. And now a new pitcher on for NC State is Kent Kleiman, 6'7", 230-pound sophomore from Williamsburg, Virginia. Making his 15th appearance of the season, that leads the ball club. A 2-0 record with a 1.35 ERA, and he also has 3 saves this year. 23 strikeouts and 10 walks in 20 innings pitched. And he'll be facing the top of the Virginia Tech order here in the home half of the 8th inning. Jack Owens, Tom Stoffel, and Luke Horansky all due up for Virginia Tech, now facing the 1-0 deficit. 1 run on 6 hits with no errors for NC State. No runs, 5 hits, and no errors for Virginia Tech. Kleiman, the tall lefty, into the windup and the first pitch. And Jack Owens takes a fastball down low for ball 1. They're underway in the WNIT championship game at Assembly Hall in Bloomington, Indiana. Hokie women going up against the Indiana Hoosiers. Right now, Indiana with a 21-20 lead as Owens squares the bunt and takes a strike over at the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike. Indiana up 21-20 with 6:38 to go in the second quarter in that game at Assembly Hall. We'll keep updating you throughout the broadcast on that ball game as the Hokie women have reached the WNIT finals. The 1-1 pitch, low and outside with a fastball. And the count is now 2-1 to Jack Owens, who is 1 for 2 in this game, a single and a hit by pitch. 2-1. Hard ground ball to shortstop. Will Wilson gobbles it up on 3 hops, throws across the diamond to first. Long stretch for Evan Edwards, but he's able to hold the bag, and that's the first out here in this 8th inning.
Stepping up to the plate, Jordan left fielder, number 12.
6-3 on the putout, 1 down, nobody on, and now Tom Stoffel stepping up. Stoffel is 1 for 3 this afternoon. He singled to center field back in the 3rd inning. Also hit into a inning-ending double play when the Hokies had the bases loaded in the bottom half of the 5th. First pitch, high and outside. 1 ball, no strikes against Stoffel. .324 batter for the season. Lefty-lefty matchup, swings and chops it foul on the first base side in front of the NC State dugout. And the count is now 1-1. David Vasquez is the new second baseman for NC State. Now the 1-1 pitch is another chopper foul going back toward the Wolfpack dugout. Stoffel behind in the count, 1-2. Now the wind and the 1-2 pitch. Stoffel hits a hard ground ball to short. 2-hopper to Will Wilson. Picks it up, crow hops, throws. It's a wide throw, and it goes off the glove of Evan Edwards. Ball stops in play in between first base and the NC State dugout, and Stoffel is on at first base with 1 out, and he's a potential tying run for Tech here in the 8th inning. Now Luke Horansky will be the batter. Horansky has his 11-game hitting streak on the line here. He is 0 for 3. He has pulled the ball all 3 times. A ground out to first, a line out to first, and another ground out to first. Lefty-lefty matchup here. And the first pitch is over on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. That'll go as a throwing error against Will Wilson, allowing Stoffel to reach first. And now the tying run on at first for Virginia Tech. 0-1 pitch. Horansky takes just below the knees on a fastball. 1-1 count. Horansky 3 for 11 against NC State this weekend. A .333 batter for the season, leading Virginia Tech in that category. The tall lefty Kleiman comes set. Now the 1-1. Horansky hits a chopper on the right side, fielded by Edwards. High throw to second, goes off the glove of Will Wilson into shallow left center field. Everybody's safe, and once again, fielding woes happening for NC State.
Now batting right.
Back-to-back errors, one against the shortstop, Will Wilson, and now one against Evan Edwards on the high throw to second. And now Virginia Tech has the potential tying run in scoring position. Still one out here in the 8th. And Cam Irvin about to step up, but first it'll be pitching coach Scott Foxhall coming out of the first base dugout. Going to try and settle down not only his pitcher, but also the rest of the infield. No activity in the NC State bullpen in the right field corner right now. This is all Kleiman's game right now. Hokie fans buzzing and making noise here as the Wolfpack have made back-to-back errors. Conference ends, and Foxhall makes his way back to the dugout. Kleiman made 20 appearances last year for the Wolfpack, had a 2.16 ERA in relief, and held opponents to a 170 batting average. He's been even more effective this season. But right now his defense letting him down, and Cam Irvin stepping up with runners at first and second and one out here in the home half of the 8th. Hokies trailing 1-0. Cam Irvin is 1 for 3 in this game, singled his last time up. First pitch is a fastball outside, ball 1. 1 run, 6 hits, 2 errors for NC State. Hokies, no runs on 5 hits with no errors. Tech trying to rally here in the home half of the 8th inning. Kleiman set at the shoulders. And the 1-0 pitch. Irvin swings, hard ground ball to second. Picked up by Vasquez, flips to Wilson, on to first. A 4-6-3 double play. And after the defense let them down, the Wolfpack then step up by turning the double play grounder, and that will do it for Virginia Tech in the home half of the 8th inning. No runs on no hits, 2 errors, and 1 runner left on base after the double play ground out. We head to the 9th in Blacksburg. Number 10 NC State clinging to a 1-0 lead over Virginia Tech. This is Virginia Tech baseball from IMG. Welcome back to English Field at Union Park as we move to the 9th inning in this tight contest, wrapping up the weekend series between Virginia Tech and 10th-ranked NC State. The Wolfpack with a 1-0 lead. Hokies were able to get a pair of runners on base in the bottom of the 8th on back-to-back errors, one by the shortstop Will Wilson, and then the next by Evan Edwards, but a 4-6-3 double play ends up getting the Wolfpack out of the jam and maintains the lead. As we now head into the 9th inning, and a pinch hitter coming up for NC State to start things off. It'll be Shane Shepard batting for Stephen Oakley. Shepard playing in his 23rd game of the season, a .216 hitter with 4 homers and 15 RBIs. Big left-handed batter. And the first pitch from Graham Seitz is over at the knees. No balls and 1 strike. Shepard is 0 for 3 against Virginia Tech this weekend. The 0-1 is on the outside corner. Quickly 0-2. Shepard played in the series opener on Thursday. As the pitch misses outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. He went 0 for 3 against Connor Coward in that masterful performance by the senior right-hander. Now the 1-2. Checked his swing. The appeal down to third base, and saying no swing is Darren Spagnardi. Say Shepard held up on that one. And the count now even at 2-2. Shepard from Wilmington, North Carolina, 6'3", 223-pound senior. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Got him with the breaking ball. And that's out number 1 here in the top of the 9th inning.
Now batting right fielder, number 13.
Brock Dethridge now stepping up. Base is empty and 1 out. Dethridge, left-handed batter against the righty Graham Seitz. The Hokies will overshift on the right side of the infield, and a ground ball into that open hole between second and third, where the shortstop would normally play. A base hit for Brock Dethridge going the other way.
Number 17, Dylan Cooper.
And now a runner at first base with 1 out here for the Wolfpack in the top of the 9th inning. Time now to go through our G&H Appliance game at a glance. It was Ian Seymour and Brian Brown both tossing up dueling zeros through the course of the first several innings. Brown went 6 scoreless for NC State. Ian Seymour went 6 2/3 scoreless for Virginia Tech. And it was NC State able to scrape a run across in the top of the 8th inning. Stephen Patera led off the frame, being hit by a pitch by Andrew McDonald. As now the pitch to Cooper, a swing and a miss. Throw down to second. Dethridge able to slide in and steal second base. Brock Dethridge with his 14th stolen base of the season on 16 attempts as he went running on the first pitch. Able to swipe the bag, and now Elliot Avent calling Dylan Cooper over. He'll go through instructions, see if any kind of bunt play is on to try and set up a sacrifice here with 1 out in the top of the 9th inning, and NC State leading 1-0. After Patera was hit by a pitch, he was replaced by pinch runner Terrell Tatum. In the 8th inning, Brett Kinnaman walked, and Evan Edwards with an RBI single to right field, plating the only run of this ball game to this point. Seitz comes set at the belt, and the 0-1 to Dylan Cooper. Squares to bunt. He offered through it, and the breaking ball is offered out and missed, and quickly now 0-2 against Dylan Cooper. That recap of the top of the 8th inning is your G&H Appliance game at a glance. Seitz has the sign and comes set. Ahead 0-2. Here's a pitch. Breaking ball, swing and a miss by Cooper, and he goes down on strikes. 3rd time that Cooper has struck out in this game. Seitz has now struck out 3 coming out of the bullpen. And there are 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning, with David Vasquez stepping up for NC State. Vasquez, the freshman infielder out of Coral Springs, Florida, started in yesterday's ball game, ended up going 1 for 3. A .310 batter for the season in limited action, 7 for 29. And he has 6 RBIs this year. Seitz has the sign and comes set. Dethridge leading off a second. First pitch. Breaking ball, big swing and a miss by Vasquez. No balls and 1 strike. Vasquez, we told you yesterday, attended Stoneman Douglas High School down in South Florida. Scene of that horrific Valentine's Day shooting at that high school that killed 17. The 0-1 pitch is a fastball over at the knees. And the count quickly at 0-2. Anthony Rizzo, a fellow Stoneman Douglas alumnus, ended up inviting members of the Stoneman Douglas baseball team out to the Cubs opener against the Miami Marlins as the breaking ball is swung on and missed by Vasquez for strike 3. And that will do it for NC State in this top half of the 9th inning. Seitz strikes out the side while surrendering a single. And we head to the bottom of the 9th inning now in Blacksburg. Last chance for Tech. They trail NC State 1-0. This is Virginia Tech baseball from IMG.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are headed to the bottom of the 9th inning. I need you to make some noise for your Hokies.
Back at English Field at Union Park as we move to the bottom of the 9th inning. Virginia Tech trailing 10th-ranked NC State 1-0. Dave Pulaski with you. Kent Kleiman trying to close things out for the Wolfpack. And trying to register his 4th save of the season. J.D. Mundy will step in and takes the first pitch strike over at the knees. And the count's now 0-1. Mundy is 0 for 2 in this game. He walked back in the 2nd inning. Lefty-lefty matchup. Kleiman with the 0-1 pitch. Mundy hits a chopper towards second base. Vasquez charges, fields it on 2 hops. Belt high, throws to first, and that's the first out here in this 9th inning.
Now batting third baseman, number 21.
It was Vasquez who started off that 4-6-3 double play when the Hokies had runners at first and second in the bottom of the 8th inning to close out that threat. And now Sam Fergale will step up with nobody on him, 1 out in the bottom of the 9th inning, and the Hokies down 1-0. Over in the WNIT championship game in Bloomington, Tech women trailing Indiana 36-27 at halftime. First pitch, a swing and a miss by Fergale. No balls and 1 strike. So Virginia Tech will need to rally from a 9-point halftime deficit in that WNIT title game. Fergale swings and hits a high fly ball out to center field. Chasing Josh McLean back 10 steps, reaches up and makes the one-handed catch above his gray and red cap. And now the Hokies are down to their final out here in the 9th inning. 2 outs and nobody on base. And Nick Menken due up for Virginia Tech. Menken 0 for 1 in this ball game. A ground out to second base his first time up. He has since walked twice. And now he's going to be called over by third base coach Kurt Albin. They'll talk things over. Hokies down 1-0. Bottom of the 9th inning. NC State trying to extend their conference series winning streak. They have won 6 straight ACC series. That's the longest active streak in the ACC. A 22-5 record for the season. Virginia Tech trying to rally back. Menken squares to bunt, takes a strike on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Kent Kleiman, the 6'7 lefty, peering over the top of his light brown glove. The wind in the 0-1. Menken takes up high, just above the letters. Count goes to 1-1. 1 run, 7 hits, 2 errors for NC State. No runs, 5 hits, and no errors for Virginia Tech. The 1-1 pitch skips in the dirt. As Menken darts out of the way, the ball bounces into the red chest protector of Patrick Bailey, the catcher. And the count now at 2-1. NC State outfield playing Menken straight up. 2-1 pitch. Menken hits a line shot into the corner in left field. That's going to get down for extra bases. Menken rounds first, hustling for second, and he's going to trot in there. A 2-out double for the Hokies, and Nick Menken gets into scoring position as a potential tying run. That's the advantage of being ahead in the count. Kleiman fell behind 2-1. Then had to deliver a pitch to Menken that he could swing at. And a good stroke and a line drive over the third baseman, Dylan Cooper's head, and heading down toward that 330 sign in the corner. Joe Friday Jr. now stepping up. A runner at second base. 2 outs. Activity going on in the NC State bullpen. It's a right-hander getting loose. Scott Foxhall, the NC State pitching coach, making his way out to the mound, and we are going to have a new pitcher for NC State in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Kent Kleiman is out as he falls an out short of recording the save. And it looks like Joe O'Donnell will try and get this final out of the ball game to close it out for the Wolfpack. Pitching change here in Blacksburg. We'll tell you about Joe O'Donnell next as the 9th inning continues. This is Virginia Tech Baseball from IMG. We continue the bottom of the 9th inning here in Blacksburg. Virginia Tech with the potential tying run on its second base with 2 outs, down 1-0. Dave Pulaski with you, a new pitcher in for NC State. It is right-hander Joe O'Donnell, a redshirt senior out of Wilmington, North Carolina, 6'2", 185 pounds, making his 10th appearance of the season, a 1-1 record with a .87 earned run average and a team-leading 5 saves for the season. Has 11 strikeouts and 4 walks in 10 1/3 innings. Named by the National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association on the preseason watch list for their stopper of the year. Led the team with 7 saves last season. That was tied for 6th in the ACC. His long blonde hair going shoulder length out from underneath his gray and red cap. And he's going to try and close this one out with Joe Friday Jr. stepping up with the tying run on at second base and 2 outs in the 9th inning. Several fans here at English Field at Union Park, a big crowd in attendance, standing and looking on. Possible decisive moment of the ball game. Virginia Tech down 1-0 here in the 9th inning. O'Donnell out of the stretch. First pitch to Friday. It's a breaking ball in the inside corner, strike 1. NC State fans now clapping along on the first base side with each strike. O'Donnell, his tan glove across the left side of his chest as he takes a sign. Now the 0-1. Friday swings and chops it foul just above the Virginia Tech dugout. The ball glanced off of the front railing. And now the Hokies down to their last strike. 0-2 count. NC State fans standing and clapping, trying to get Joe O'Donnell his 6th save of the season. Joe Friday Jr. trying to extend the game. Out of the set, 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt. Friday able to lay off. And the count now, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Friday spelled F-R-E-I-D-A-Y. Lakeville, Massachusetts native. He is 1 for 3 in this game with a single. Calmly waving that bat above his right shoulder. Ground ball toward third base. It's going to scoot foul. Missed the bag by about 5 feet, and the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-0 NC State with the lead. Hokies trying to rally back and at least tie this game here in the 9th inning. Wind blowing straight across the field from right to left. Outfield relatively shallow here to try and gun down the runner at home. 1-2 pitch, breaking ball inside, ball 2. Wolfpack fans thought the game was over. Home plate umpire Jeremy Dupree never budged from his crouch. Even count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nick Menken on at second base. Joe Friday Jr. back in the box. Now the 2-2. Fastball popped up foul behind home. That ball will clear the roof of the press box and make it all the way out of the stadium. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 count, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th inning. Tech down 1-0. O'Donnell looking in for his sign from catcher Patrick Bailey, has what he likes. 2-2 pitch, breaking ball, and Friday able to hold up on his swing. The NC State dugout is irate. Elliot Avent yelling down at Darian Padgett, the first base umpire, signaling that Friday went around, but he held up and the count's now full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. High drama here in Blacksburg. Fans clapping along. 3-2 pitch, breaking ball, swing and a miss, strike 3. And NC State captures the series, winning 1-0. Hokies gave it a battle. They took the opener in this 3-game set. NC State ended up winning the middle game and the finale. But it did not come easy for the Wolfpack as they improved to 23-5 on the season. And they are now 9-3 in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Virginia Tech ends up suffering the loss. They dropped to 11-15 overall. And they are now 5-7 in ACC play. Post-game show coming up next. We'll go through your game totals. We'll have a recap and we'll name your player of the game. That's all ahead as NC State downs Virginia Tech 1-0. This is Virginia Tech baseball from IMG.